Kaukauna High School, it's the 15th annual Cheesehead Invitational presented by American Transmission Company here on Fox Sports. Good evening and welcome to the 15th annual Cheesehead Invitational. I'm Shane Sparks alongside my broadcast partner, Coach Mike Derone. Mike, you look at this tournament, it's become one of the premier events in the country. 7 teams in the Intermat Fab 50 littered with ranked wrestlers. Let's talk about some of these matchups. 126 pounds, Jared Cortez and Freddie Stroker, both ranked top 16. Something has got to give.
Yeah, they're two explosive lightweights. Both of them are non-stop, aggressive, attacking type wrestlers. You're going to see 6 minutes of full flying fireworks, just fur flying. There's going to be action in that match. It's going to be a fun one.
You look at 132 pounds. Over the years, there have been some crazy deep weight classes. Nothing quite like this. The 17th seeded state qualifier, Andrew Crone and George Fisher, they're in the finals. But I'll tell you what, this is some kind of weight class. Yeah, I'm excited to watch Andrew Crone. I mean, he's going to look to put together back-to-back tournaments. He just went undefeated up at the Clash, the National Duels, 6-0 with 6 pins. Now here he is in the finals of the Cheesehead, one of the premier national events, and he's going to look to ignite a fire for the rest of Wisconsin. 152 pounds, 2 guys ranked number 1 in the country. Brian Murphy ranked number 1 at 152. Jake Short ranked number 1 at 145. I don't know what to expect from this one.
Well, all the talk coming into the tournament around the national wrestling websites was between Jake Short and Mark Hall from Apple Valley, but somebody forgot to tell Brian Murphy because he took out Mark Hall in the semifinals, and it looks like he's ready to win a tournament here. Should be a great championship match at 152.
As I mentioned, so many great teams here, 7 states represented. The number 1 team in each of those states is here. So win this thing, you got to get great contributions up and down the lineup. Southeast Polk out of Iowa, they were 4th here a year ago. They're right there to win a team title. You got Marmion Academy 3rd, and sandwiched in between is Montini Catholic out of Lombard, Illinois. To win this tournament, you better come and wrestle tough.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you're bringing in the cream of the crop from around the country, and especially the schedules that these guys are wrestling. You know, Montini was just a runner-up. They lost on criteria at the Clash National Duels. Southeast Polk, very well-coached high school team. Jason Christensen out of Iowa, and just does a phenomenal job. So week in and week out, these teams are seeing national-level competition, and as the saying goes, iron sharpens iron, and we're seeing that here this weekend.
Sit back, grab your popcorn. Should be a great show. Modern Day Warriors. Next, we'll crown 14 Cheesehead champions.
What can you count on? There's the place on the corner where the coffee is just right. A loyal companion, always ready to go. Here's something else you can count on: electricity. Just flip a switch and your life powers up. At American Transmission Company, we help make sure electricity is there when you need it. That's what we do: deliver economical, reliable power for your everyday life. American Transmission Company, helping to keep the lights on, businesses running, and communities strong.
Welcome here to Kaukauna High School. It is the home of the 15th annual Cheesehead Invitational. And the time has come to crown 14 Cheesehead champions. Shane Sparks alongside Coach Mike Derone. We'll begin at 160 pounds. Daniel Waywer from Apple Valley. Tim Miklas from Southeast Polk. Taking a look at the updated team scores, Apple Valley, Minnesota was gunning for a 4th straight Cheesehead championship. Not going to happen. Apple Valley, you see there in 5th place. Bettendorf, Iowa in 4th. A couple of Illinois schools in Marmion Academy and Montini Catholic. Southeast Polk leading the way. And Mike, you and I talked about it earlier. To win this tournament, you got to have your horses. Southeast Polk, 4 in the finals. Montini, 4 in the finals. Marmion, 2 in the finals. But you got to get contributions up and down the lineup. Everybody has to contribute.
Yeah, and I think you saw that from Southeast Polk all the way through. 4 in the finals, a long battle in Montini, another 4 in the finals. They're going to be going head-to-head here to try to see who takes the team title home.
You see Miklas 22-1. a senior for the Rams. WIAA, he too a senior, 21-3, and you'll hear us talk about it throughout this evening. Daniel WIAA, he'll wrestle for Kevin Jackson at Iowa State. A lot of college coaches you've seen these past couple of days in the Big Ten. Saw Pete Rogers here today, assistant coach with Purdue. Luke Becker from Minnesota. The Wisconsin Badger coaching staff with Trevor Brandvold and Kyle Rochelle. Saw Kyle Snyder with Nebraska. This has become a showcase event. Going to be some fireworks, Mike. Going to be a lot of fun. This is a wrestling fan's dream for the next 2 hours.
Oh, absolutely. And it's great for Northeast Wisconsin and the whole state of Wisconsin. Have all these teams coming from around the country coming in to serve the Wisconsin wrestling fans, and getting all these college coaches up here to see some great wrestling both nationally and all the great kids that we have coming from our state.
Tim Miklas, 22-1 record, an All-American, USA Wrestling folk style. And there will be many common themes here tonight, Mike, and one of those is guys that commit. They buy in. It's a lifestyle. It's 365 days a year, taking advantage of training opportunities. USA Wrestling, as you well know, offers so many great opportunities in folk style, Greco, and freestyle, and these kids buy into that.
Yeah, you bet. And, you know, I'm going to take a wild guess here and bet that the majority of the guys that are in these championship finals are wrestling a good 10, 11, if not 12 months out of the year, or doing something to help themselves get better, whether it's, you know, training in the weight room, getting out, hitting the road work. But they're definitely, it is a lifestyle. You got to put 12 months in, and you're going to see the results paying off here tonight.
There you look at WIAA sporting that Cyclones of Iowa State wrestling shirt, and Kevin Jackson and that coaching staff down at Ames awfully excited to bring in WIAA from Apple Valley. WIAA ranked 20th in the country. Comes in with a record of 20-3. And one thing in Minnesota, you can win a state title as a 7th grader. And when you look at WIAA, he was a 6th place finisher at 103 back as a 7th grader. Another guy, of course, we'll talk about him tonight, did not make the finals, but is a phenom freshman from Minnesota in Mark Hall from Apple Valley, who already has 2 Minnesota State titles to his credit.
Yeah, unbelievable the amount of matches these guys can get in, coming in from a young age. I can imagine that wrestling at the state tournament as a middle school student in Minnesota helps to prepare the kids for these pressure-packed matches here tonight when they're going up against fellow national level competitors.
Hard to believe, 15 years here at Kaukauna High School. They do a phenomenal job. It's a real fabric of this community. Wrestling here in Kaukauna, they have a phenomenal program led by their head coach, Jeff Monchek. Kaukauna here in Wisconsin ranked #1 in Division I, and they want nothing else to win a team title for the Galloping Ghost Wrestling program.
And they've done well in the team scores here. I believe they were in 11th place, the highest out of all the Wisconsin schools involved, and Coach Matchik and his crew are really doing a great job, and you're seeing it here at a national level tournament.
Strange to look down at that championship mat, look in the Apple Valley corner and not see legendary coach Jim Jackson.
Yeah, we had a lot of coaching changes, from Jim Jackson and also Coach Buxton out at Blair. Blair Academy's had their team out here at various times, and that's just part of the sport. Things go in cycles, and other coaches are going to step up and try to take the lead.
We are set to begin 160-pound final with WIAA of Apple Valley, Miklas of Southeast Polk. Miklas's brother Willie Miklas, a champion here a year ago at 220 pounds. WIAA takes a nice shot there and deep on a double. He's got the red ankle band on and quickly scores a takedown 15 seconds in. Talk about throwing the first punch, come in with a mindset of attacking. He wants to go to work on his feet.
Yeah, I found it interesting. He's in on the attack, and then he cut him right away. I mean, he's setting the tone of the match. Go ahead, letting him go. He must be confident he's going to be able to get back on the offense. Here he is on a shot. He's going to get to the corner here. And there's another, what seemed like somewhat of an easy takedown. So he's definitely in the driver's seat now with 2 takedowns early in the match.
Mentioned WIAA 6th as a 7th grader at 103. He was also 6th as an 8th grader at 119. Bumped up as a freshman to win a state title at 130. Was a runner-up as a sophomore at 145. And most recently, 6th a year ago at 182. But looking good here and now, imposing his will in the top position.
He's cranking with legs here. He's changed it up to a bar. Great wrestlers usually will transition from one attack to another on the top. Here he is going to jump out to the side, try to work the bar. He's really taking charge here. Looks like he's going to run him over.
Has the wrist trapped, armbar off to the side. And here at 160, WIAA looking for a pin. He's got 30 seconds to work with here in this opening period.
It's going to be tough to pin him here. This guy's a fighter. He's still got some swipes and really extended his lead.
3 near fall makes it 7-1. Short time now inside of 20 seconds. Miklas, a 2-time Iowa State qualifier as a freshman at 112, and last year as a junior at 160.
Yeah, he's really made some big jumps from year to year, and I think that you're seeing this a little bit here, where maybe he's not physically mature enough. He's grown into that weight, but obviously he's a really special wrestler, making the finals of this tournament. So a lot of wrestling left to do this match. Let's see what he does.
Big period there for WIAA. Gets a couple of takedowns, a turn for 3. Dominating first period for Danny WIAA, Apple Valley senior, ranked 20th in the country here at this weight class.
Seeing some good motion here on the feet. A lot of lateral motion as they're moving their feet.
Another shot there from WIAA. That time didn't close the gap as well as he had in his previous 2 shot attempts. Such a great tournament. When it's all said and done, only 14 will stand as Cheesehead champions. And WIAA off to a good start here at 160. There's a shot from Miklas, but Miklas just unable to get past the head and the hands.
Yeah, he's got to create a little more angle, maybe bang with his head a little bit, bang with his hands, try to use some lateral motion and fakes to try to really get a good deep shot off. There's Warrior. He's in deep. Finishing over his head, which you don't see very often. I think maybe he's able to get by with that a little bit. He's able to finish. He's going right back into the leg, and he's going to look for some more back points.
And with his 3 takedowns, Mike, most importantly, it's about the finish, and he has finished lickety-split, quick.
Yeah, very quick. Usually that's a sign that he's got a good hard setup, and I think he's using motion and fakes to hit that. He gets in so deep that he's relatively easily getting to the finish.
And he's been a hammer on top. We saw the turn for 3 in the first period. 30 seconds remaining here in the second period. Tight waist. Breaks him down, chops him down to the mat. Once again, Miklas in this position has to find a way to work up, get his knees underneath him. His head is down. He's in a tough spot. Elbows flared out. Not giving himself a position to get to his base.
Looks like his head's on the mat. He's got a little bit of frustration on his face. You can see maybe getting a little mentally wore down. Maybe defeat starting to creep into his mind a little bit. But he's got a lot of wrestling to do. He can still come back here in the third period. There's a little effort to finish. There's a little effort to finish the second period, coming up with a stand-up.
WIAA, tough match in the semis against Montini's Xavier Montalvo. Beat him 7-5 in the sudden victory.
Miklas picks top. That's an interesting choice here in the third period. Obviously, he's going to be working to get some back points, maybe looking for a fall, but didn't work out for him.
He had to pick top right there. I mean, that's really his only chance to win the match right here. He's been taken down a number of times, hasn't had any real legit threatening attacks from the neutral position, and on bottom was getting rode hard. So right there, you got to switch things up a little bit.
Yeah, I think it was a good strategy to try to get some offense going on top, try to put some points on the board, but he's really in a hole here. He's going to have to pick up the pace and take him from his feet to his back.
And Miklas with pins in both the quarters and the semis as well.
He's continuing to battle here defensively. Here's the situation where you see that finish isn't coming so quick, and it's taking a lot more time here. There he earns it.
But the key right there, Mike, is he stayed with it. You nailed it right on the head. He earned it. Tough position. You keep wrestling in those tough positions, and we're going to see that a lot tonight. It's not going to come easy.
Yeah, you bet. You're going to have to earn all your points, and he did a great job fighting through there. He's really got this guy head hanging. Miklas is struggling, but...
And WIAA still working hard out there on top. Now he's going to cut him to give us a 12-2 score, and I'd expect him to really pick this pace up here with 40 seconds left here in this third period.
I think you're going to see Miklas starting to look for some feet-to-back options. If he's got a hope, he's going to have to pin him. There's a little offense created. Nice lift and return. Goes to show what he's capable of.
And I like that there for Miklas. You're down 12-2, but it's about getting better, taking advantage of an opportunity. You got a good competitor out there. You fight for positions, and he can build on that.
Yeah, sometimes, sometimes that's kind of a small victory. Continuing to wrestle and close that gap a little bit so the score's a little closer, lets him know that he can be in this match with these high-level competitors.
Final seconds, and we have our first champion here at the 2013 Cheesehead. It's Daniel Wayward of Apple Valley, Minnesota, the senior, now 21-3. Final score of 12-4. No question who was better on this night.
Yeah, he really had some great leg attacks. I'm sure Coach Jackson's going to be excited to get him over at Iowa State.
170 pounds coming up. It's the 15th annual Cheesehead Invitational here on Fox Sports.
Top-notch kids are scared of that shirt. So if you get that shirt, it's one thing that you have that almost no one else has.
Getting the I Did It shirt means I went through the workouts. I did everything I needed to do.
If I get the shirt, it's going to be a great day. I'm going to put it in my wrestling room at my school.
When I go back to Texas, I'm wearing it to every tournament for everybody can know that they don't want to mess with me.
Back inside Kaukauna High School, Cheesehead Invitational, big battle coming up here at 170 pounds. Southeast Polk has had a great couple days here in Kaukauna, and we talked with their head coach, Jason Christensen. Talk about why you came back.
Obviously, the great competition here at the Cheesehead is what brought us back. The battles that our kids face round in and round out makes a big difference at the end of the season.
This year, your team is in the mix to win the team title. What has stood out with the performance?
I think the biggest thing is that we've got 12 guys in the top 10. So we've been really balanced all the way through the tournament, and that's helped us. Bonus points obviously help us, but just consistency throughout each round.
Each guy taking care of business. You guys got 4 guys that'll wrestle for a Cheesehead title. What can we expect from those battles?
Well, obviously they're going to be great matches, tough matches. We just hope our kids compete hard for 6 minutes or whatever it takes.
Apple Valley with a champion in Daniel Wayward at 160 pounds. We turn our attention to 170 pounds. Minnesota and Iowa going to bash heads here. It's Nick Wanzik. He's in the red singlet from Simley, a senior with a record of 26-0. He's ranked 4th in the country according to the Intermat rankings. Wrestling another senior in Dylan Blackford from Southeast Polk, Iowa, comes in at 22-1. And one thing here, Mike, when you get into these upper weights, I like watching these guys. They're 170 pounders, but they wrestle like 145. A lot of athleticism and quickness.
Yeah, this Blackford, he's a little tank. And he's got great movement, some great skills here. Wanzik's a little bit bigger frame on him, a little bit taller, a little lankier. Both guys still athletic, though, moving their feet. There's a first shot. A little bit missing a setup on that, but great that he's getting aggressive and on the offense.
Wanzik was in the final a year ago at 152, fell to Oliver Pierce from Allen, Texas. Wanzik, a 2-time Minnesota State champion. Captured titles in his sophomore and junior seasons after a runner-up finish as a freshman, and fresh off a championship at the Minnesota Christmas tournaments. And a lot of these schools, Mike, it's their schedule. I mean, they go out and seek the best. It's not about improving your record. It's about improving your wrestling, and there's a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people confuse winning a lot of high school wrestling matches with being a good high school wrestler, and I think that's not always the case. I think that it's how you win with great position, great fundamentals. Typically basics win, and what's going to translate to success at the state tournament, and maybe for a lot of these guys, success at the college level.
Blackford, a 3-time state qualifier, was a runner-up last year. Also success on the freestyle side of things, a 3-time state freestyle champion. Also a football player as well. Short time here inside of 15 seconds. Wanzik.
A nice head in the hole.
Nice technique. and scores the 2 points and scores it inside of 15 seconds. And
I like that sense of urgency. You know, the last 15 to 20 seconds of a period, you can see him picking it up, and it paid off for him.
You look at a sport like football, Mike, you got to take care of the football, can't turn it over. Maybe in baseball, if you're a pitcher, you can't give guys free bases with walks. In wrestling, you cannot give up points in short time. You'll hear us talk about it all night long. Those final 15 seconds, win those 15 seconds. If you're on bottom, get an escape, maybe a reversal. If you're on top, get that ride out, finish the period on top.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, really, if you can break a 6-minute match down into a bunch of mini matches, trying to wrestle 15 seconds at a time, it's trying to win one position at a time and not try to win the whole match at once, because matches are long. You got to do your best to go out there and just win one position at a time.
Wansek with a quick escape here in the second period, now up 3-0, and you score those short time points, you don't give him any time to recover in any way.
Like the way Blackford's responding, though. He's picking up the pace a little bit, getting his hands going. Wansek did not waste any time down on the bottom. He was up and out.
It's all about pace. You know, come out here with pace, pressure. Of course, you can't compromise position. Be physical. Love the P's of wrestling. Right there, it starts with position and pace.
Here's that front headlock again. He's hustling to the corner. Did a nice job of punching that hamstring and using it to hold his hips down as he hit that go behind. Scored twice out of the front head there. That must be one of his strong positions, and I think it's paying off for him here.
Up 5-0 halfway through this second period. And to win this tournament, Mike, you got to be tough in all positions, looking for a tilt right here.
Yeah, nice tight waist chop to the far side. Looks like he got a 2 count there. Here he's back on that tight waist. Being tough on top, that's really what separates a lot of the good wrestlers from the great wrestlers. Guys that are tough on top. When you're tough on top, people fear you. They don't want to be going underneath, getting cranked on here. Looks like Wansek's really going to work. He's sneaking a leg in now. He's continuously working out to the side, transitioning from breakdown to breakdown. Here we go, short time.
Just suffocating on top. Crossface, the claw ride. Keeping Blackford's hips on the mat. Keeping his head down. Blackford no answer on bottom, and he trails at 7-0. But when you're inside that circle, and this is what makes our sport, in my opinion, the best sport there is. It's 7-0. If you're Wansek, and I don't expect him to, but you can't shut it down. You are under attack. You're up 7-0. But with all these guys in these Cheesehead finals, they got some big firepower. You make a mistake, they're going to make you pay heavy consequence.
Yeah, I mean, Blackford's not going to. He's not going to back down. He's not going to stop wrestling. There's 2 minutes to go. There's a shot right off the whistle. Oh, great reshot though. That was shot, counter shot. Wansek going to work now with a Turk, attacking his face, getting some swipes. Very, very tough on top. Just a complete wrestler. Wansek's doing a fantastic job.
Wansek going to wrestle in the Big Ten for Jay Robinson at Minnesota, while Blackford will wrestle at Grandview. Really impressed with Wansek. And you talked about it before, Mike, being on top. It's a game changer. It changes everything when you're able to ride tough on top.
Yeah, especially just transitioning from one breakdown to the next, one turn to the next. You know, you can really smother a guy down there and start to get that doubt to creep into his mind when you won't let him breathe from the top position.
And Wansek right here, he wants to go out big. You got one more turn, you get 3 near fall, you'll get a tech fall, 15-0. It's one thing to come out and win a Cheesehead championship. It's another to get a tech in the finals.
Yeah, that means you went out and took care of business. There was absolutely leaving no doubt. And I think he's doing that here, but if he gets that tech, he'll put his final stamp on it.
He's got 35 seconds to work with, does the Simile senior Nick Wansek, looking to remain undefeated. He'd improve to 27-0.
Again, this is where he should put him away. Great job transitioning, going from his breakdown directly to his Turk. Just constantly making adjustments. Very impressed with this young man.
Minnesota going to make it 2 for 2. Wayward at 160. And now Nick Wansek of Simile here at 170 pounds. dominating 15-0 Tech Fall. Wanzik of Simile, your Cheesehead champion at 170 pounds.
Wrestlers, are you ready for the next step? USA Wrestling challenges you to test your skills in the Folk Style Tour of America. The 2013 Dominating the Dells will be held Saturday, March 16th in the Wisconsin Dell Center at Chula Vista Resort. Be sure to visit the water parks after the event. For more information about this event and other tournaments, visit usawrestlingevents.com.
15th annual Cheesehead Invitational. We're set for 182 pounds. West Fargo and Montini going to collide. Jake Turks had a great tournament, and earlier today we talked with head coach of Montini, Izzy Martinez. Izzy, this tournament's 15 years old, and now it's become a national event. A lot of different states represented. But Montini, one of the pioneers of the out-of-state schools. Talk about why it's so important and why you guys continue to come back here year in, year out.
You know, we've built a relationship with the Kaukauna High School wrestling team. The coach is Scott Cleaver, and we're just treated so well. The tournaments ran great, the food's great, but it's just a great tournament. So a couple hours over the border for us, and we get a chance to wrestle a lot of kids that we hear about and see it on the summer. So it's a good event to wrestle the guys that we see at Fargo and big national events.
I'm not sure if there's anybody in the country that wrestles the schedule you guys do at Montini Catholic. Talk about the thought process behind that.
You know, the goal is, our main goal at Montini is to produce Division I national champion, Olympic champions. We have a vision at Montini to be high academic, high wrestling, and just high in life. I think the standard is high, so in order to be successful, I believe, at the next level, I think you have to feel what competition is. You have to be a good loser. You have to be a great winner. And you have to know what it feels like, and you have to figure out where your weaknesses are. And you come to the Cheesehead, you're probably going to figure them out.
Once again, you guys represented well with 4 in the finals. What are you most excited to see play out in these championship matches?
You know, our two captains, Tommy Pawlowski and Jake Turk, they've been wrestling, hard all summer and all year. They both got straight A's. They're both just great kids, and they're both in the finals. So it's exciting to see those two guys go. Hopefully they can come across, with the victory. Last year we didn't have any champs, so it's exciting just to be here and bring some winners back home, because you come here to win, and that's just what our goal is. Chris Garcia is in the finals also, and Chris is tough as nails, so it's going to be exciting to see Chris, see where he goes. And our big guy's back on charge. He's back in time. Edgar Owano, he's at a weight class where in our dual meet lineup we have to bump him a lot because our heavyweight's not out yet. But Edgar's in there. He's stepping it up. He's down to 220. He's kicking some butt. So hopefully this will recharge him.
Cheesehead Invitational, the 15th annual. Shane Sparks along with Coach Mike Derone here inside Kaukauna High School, Kaukauna, Wisconsin, about 30 miles or so south of Titletown, Green Bay, and West Fargo, one of the new schools here in 2013. And Preston Lehman, we'll get a look at him here in this 182-pound final. He comes in 27-0, ranked 6th in the country. And wrestling Jake Turk from Montini Catholic there in Lombard, Illinois. The senior comes in 30-3. And I remember years back, about 10, 11 years or so, when this was mainly a Wisconsin tournament, the best teams here in the Badger States, and Montini has kind of been a staple every year, coming from Illinois, a nationally ranked power. And good to see West Fargo here. Got some really tough kids, and we're going to see one right here in Lehman.
Yeah, Lehman's committed to North Dakota State with Coach Roger Kish. A very, very solid wrestler, and he's going to have a great match here with Turk. Both big guys, big athletic guys, using underhooks.
Lehman, a 3-time finalist there in North Dakota, 2-time state champion. Won it as a sophomore at 171, and last year in his junior campaign got the job done at 182. Turk coming off a runner-up finish at the Dvorak down there in Illinois. He was 4th in 2-way at 182 last year. No score 45 seconds in, and these two guys kind of feeling each other out a little bit.
Yeah, we're seeing some good movement. He's fighting for his underhook. When Turk comes up to his head, he's hitting a nice elbow off. There's an attack. Still, again, didn't really commit to it. These guys are feeling each other out. A little bit of hand fighting going. You can see Lehman's going to his 2-on-1, so he's really changing up his control ties.
Lehman, first-team All-State running back in North Dakota. And action stops with 47 seconds. I'd like to thank our corporate sponsors, American Transmission Company. Owns and operates and maintains the high voltage electric lines. ATC helps to keep the lights on, businesses running, and community strong. Also want to thank J. Robinson Intensive Camps. I love those commercials for J. Robinson Intensive Camps. My favorite one is when J. Robinson there's a little baby in the crib crying, and J. Robinson makes the comment, "Quit crying, baby." J. Robinson, always interesting to talk to him. He does a phenomenal job there, as he has for so many years at the University of Minnesota. And your life will be changed. J. Robinson Intensive Camps. Back at it inside of 30 seconds. And right here, Mike, curious to see who's going to take a risk. Content to go 0-0 second period, or will somebody pull the trigger, try to score some of those short time points?
Yeah, it's interesting. Both guys have really worked a lot of upper body ties, going from their underhooks to their 2-on-1s. So not really getting any angles going, not really taking any big risks, but they are battling for ties. 5 seconds to go. We're probably going to see it down in referee's position here in a minute.
So an even battle here at 182. Choice goes to Lehman. He defers, and Turk's going to go on bottom. And I haven't seen Lehman wrestle. He's obviously 6th in the country, very good. But this move surprises me a little bit, in my opinion, Mike. 0-0 match. I like a guy that's going to go on bottom, score points. But here you can see right here, maybe he's thinking, I'm going to defer because I'm so tough on top.
Yeah, and I think, probably after going 0-0 in that first period, maybe he's thinking, okay, I'm going to defer, and then he's going to save that option. He's probably confident he's going to get that escape point anyway coming off the bottom, so gives him a chance. In a 0-0 match, it might be a little bit different, where he's going to give a chance to ride tough and maybe work a turn. But if it stays 0-0, he's still got that option to go down and score his point in the third period.
Tough on top, you see there, trapping the wrists underneath. Turk is head on the mat.
Yeah, he's not getting a whole lot of movement going out of his knees and his hips. Creating some movement, getting that hip separation is the way to get things going on the bottom.
See him down there on his shoe tops. Again, the elbow flared out, that left wrist being controlled, looking for a tilt.
And here's why Lehman deferred.
Exactly. In all these matches here so far tonight, Mike, guys have been getting the job done on top. You can see that's becoming more of a point of emphasis across the country here these past few years.
Yeah, and I think wrestling kind of goes in cycles. I know for a while, in the late 90s, early 2000s, it was a 2-for-1 thing of take them down and cut them. And, I just think that wrestling goes in cycles, and now guys are getting so tough on top. They're seeing how they can blow matches open and ultimately pin people, and that's really the goal in wrestling.
Big period here for Lehman, a controlling period. And now he will be hit with stalling, riding parallel.
That's a little bit of a surprising call, though. He really was working hard. He wasn't out to the side, but he had just taken him off his back, and here he's going right to his tilt. So you can see he's getting a lot of work done on top.
And Lehman, with the turn 4-3, will ride out Turk to close out the second period, 3-0. And now, Mike, he's got choice. Does he go back up top?
Oh, I think he's going to go down and try to extend his lead. I'm sure he's fairly confident. Looks pretty explosive. I think you're going to see him pop up for one and then go right back into offense. There he is.
Quick stand-up, took him a second.
Now maybe he'll open some things up here. He scored some points. He can take a little more risk going to the legs.
4-0 score here in this third period. Preston Lehman of West Fargo, they're in North Dakota, their first trip here to Kaukauna, trying to make it a memorable one with the Cheesehead Championship. And right here, Turk has got to pick up the pace. I mean, he's down by 4 right now.
Yeah, he's not really wrestling with much urgency right now. He's still got some time, but he's got to get to work. Lehman's not really doing giving him an opportunity to get anything going, though. Every time he ties to his head, Lehman's taking that elbow off. He's going onto a wrist. Here he's got a shot of his own.
Trying to finish at the edge.
There. Nothing going.
That was a nice shot. Good attack there at the edge.
Continuing to set the tone, though, for the match. The more you're in on his legs, the less he's in on yours.
Competitor supreme, one of the all-time phenomenal. Is that Troy or Terry Steiner, one or the other? Or Gable said that, I believe, right?
I think it's one of the Steiner brothers, one of the all-time great movies here for all those wrestling junkies that are out here watching the broadcast.
Got to have it. There's a double.
Shot.
Switches off. And just lowered his level right there.
Head's hanging from Turk. I don't know if he got a little injured there. Nope, he popped right up. And then he's right back on the offense on top. Gotta love that. Guys are not hanging out. He's got 30 seconds. He's trying to extend his lead. Here's another turn attempt. Really, really getting after that cheap tilt, keeping Turk's head on the mat. I'm sure Coach Kish has got to be fired up watching this match.
That was a big get for North Dakota State, and you can see why.
Yeah, keeping their best kids in state.
And you talk about wrestling 6 minutes. Lehman does just that after a scoreless first period. A 7-0 final. Here at 182 pounds, Preston Lehman picks up his 28th victory of the season, and with it comes a Cheesehead Championship.
Would you trust your dental work to a mountain man? Then why would you trust your electrical work to anyone but a trusted electrical professional? When you need power to drive your business, you can find the electrical contractor you need by going to truepro.org online. Put in your location and call the trusted professionals you'll find at your fingertips.
Shane Sparks, Mike Derone back inside Kaukauna High School. Cheesehead Invitational, the 195-pound final coming up. Big part of this tournament, of course, is the sponsors. J. Robinson Camp's been a big part of this tournament for many years, and we talked with Ty Eustace representing J. Robinson Camp's. I love those J. Robinson commercials. J. Robinson Wrestling Camps, they will change you for life. Talk about the experience you guys give at J. Robinson Camps.
Well, it's, we're intensive camps for a reason. They're different camps. Jay started these 35 years ago. We're in our 35th year. He kind of started the trend, which a lot of people are copying now, but we do things a little bit different. And the feedback we get from kids after they leave is incredible. Even for me, I'm new to the company. It's just been really incredible to see the effect that we can have on kids. 10, 14, 28 days can make a big difference.
What are some new things we can look forward to at J. Robinson Camps?
Well, this year we're going to introduce a competition camp this year where we're going to have 160 cap it at that number of kids, and they're going to come in and get a bunch of matches, but they're also going to learn kind of what it really takes to compete at a high level. And Jay has a pretty good idea what that is. And it's going to be something new that we're going to try this year, and I think it's going to be a big success. But we're always going to have our intensive camps, 10-day, 2 14 days, and our 28-day camp in Minneapolis. And then we do have 5 technique camps around the country, too, that we have some great headliners coming in from around the country to those. So really looking forward to this year. A little bit of the old stuff, which is great, but we're going to try some new things, too, with our competition camp.
Great relationship between the Cheesehead Invitational and J. Robinson Camps. You guys have been here for a number of years. Talk about why it's so important to be here.
Well, I mean, we want to be out to the best tournaments, and this one is one of the best tournaments. You know, we sponsor several tournaments around the Midwest, the really big, successful ones, and this one's no different. I mean, you look at the finals, it's pretty incredible. We want to have a presence. We want people to know that we are involved in the high school wrestling scene. We care about it, and it's fun to be here and kind of get to know some of the kids, some of the coaches, and that's who we want to come to the camp. So it's neat to be here, and it's my first time here. I'm looking forward to the finals.
An all-Illinois final here at 195 pounds. Jordan Ellingwood from Plainfield Central, an undefeated senior, 30-0, and Blake Blair of Edwardsville. He's 25-1. And Mike, I did not confirm this, but I believe this may be a rematch of the Dvorak.
Yeah, I believe so. Ellingwood was first last weekend, if I'm correct, and I'm sure that Blair's going to be looking for a little bit of revenge here.
Ellingwood comes in ranked 8th in the country according to the Intermat National Rankings. Blair 14th in the country. Ellingwood this season won at Barrington. Believe that is the first weekend in December. Or maybe that last weekend in November, the first week of competition there in Illinois.
I was surprised he wasn't moving his feet there. You know, Blake Blair, he was caught in the front head, and he kind of just stood there and let Ellingwood work on his head, and he was sagging his hips back, and he left himself wide open for that ankle pick. That was surprising.
Ellingwood, a preseason's national champion at 195 pounds. He was a third-place finisher in 3A last year at 182.
Ellingwood cuts him right away, so must be pretty confident on his feet. After going out getting that first takedown, made it look easy.
50 seconds here in this first period. Blair at 195 last year in Illinois 3A was a runner-up. Illinois has phenomenal high school wrestling.
Yeah, they really do, and they've got a great USA wrestling program there. Lots of involvement. Their spring and summer wrestling teams are typically some of the best.
With the IKWF, Cadet, Greco, and Freestyle, as well as at the junior level and schoolboy for that matter, they've been phenomenal. A lot of success.
There's another straight-on shot by Ellingwood. Both guys aren't quite moving their feet.
Oh, sweet ankle pick there from Ellingwood. Happens inside of 10 seconds, leads at 4-1. And you mentioned moving your feet.
Yeah, he made him pay. He made him pay for not moving his feet right there. And again, right at the end of the period, going out looking for some offense when maybe Blair relaxed a little bit.
And now Ellingwood will start second period on bottom. That was pretty. And I don't think there's too many times the word pretty and a big tough guy like Ellingwood, those two words going to be used together. But, man, quick reversal.
Yeah, great chain wrestling there. He went to the stand-up. Blair stayed down on his knees, so he made it a reversal. Here he is again, chopping. Guys have really been tough on top tonight. It's been great to see.
See him up on his toes, a lot of pressure. And when you're on that bottom position, physically draining when you got that guy on top imposing his will. And now Ellingwood will cut Blair, but doesn't waste any time. He cuts him and he's right back in on a leg attack.
Yeah, he's not letting him breathe. That's a good strategy.
6-2. With takedowns, it's all about, getting an angle, cutting the corner. And Blair has been unable.
Yeah, he really hasn't gotten any offense going. It's been all Ellingwood on the attack, and he's just taking advantage when Blair's not moving his feet.
Just kind of hanging out in the ties. Last year at 195.
There's a great double leg.
It was Johnson of Lockport over Blair of Edwardsville.
Wasn't able to capitalize on it though. Really didn't bust the knees across. working to throw his face across his back as he takes a big step across there to get that finish.
Ellingwood up by 4, 6-2. And let's see if he strikes again here in short time. Had that sweet ankle pick late in the first period.
He's picking up his motion. There's a shot.
Inside of 10 seconds.
Got extended, so good job by Blair. Way to wrestle hard at the end
See
of
if
the
Blair's
period.
able to spin around behind as the buzzer sounds to end the seconds. Good little flurry there to close the second period.
Yeah, it was nice to see Ellingwood taking some more risk, but Blair was able to defend and just about capitalized on that. Here he is coming off the bottom. Let's see what his action is coming up as his first move. Looks like Ellingwood's going to cut him again.
Now 7 or 6-3 rather, as he gives him the escape. You know, one of those matches you look at, Ellingwood's really controlled this match, but if Blair can find a way to score a takedown, he's right back in it, but that is far easier said than done. Hasn't really given any indication up to this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's really anybody's match. I mean, if he takes some feet to back, he's in the driver's seat.
And if you're Ellingwood right here up 6-3, definitely don't want to shut it down. Not time to go into defense mode. Got to keep wrestling through the finish line.
No, and I think he will. He's been pretty offensive. He's just kind of really being smart now. He doesn't have to take any big risks. Doesn't want to be diving in there. So just going to try to wrestle to win his match.
Ellingwood, a 21-6 tech in the semifinals, while Blair 3-1 decision to put his name in this 195-pound final.
There's a little half shot there. He got some offense going a little bit. Blair's really got a big frame on him. You know, he's got some long legs, he's got some height. Maybe having a tough time just getting a good deep level change in order to fire off a good leg attack. There's a nice front head.
See what he's able to do with his front headlock. He's got to go. He's got 35 seconds. Needs something pretty big.
He's going back after that front head. That's probably some of his main offense. Just getting clubbed to a front head.
And what does he have in his bag of tricks? Down by 3.
There's some good chain wrestling there. Whoop. Good flurry.
Jordan Ellingwood from Plainfield Central, the senior, remains undefeated at 31-0. Ellingwood over Blair. 6-3 the final. Ellingwood, your 2013 Cheesehead champion at 195 pounds.
What can you count on? There's that friend who always calls at the right time. That special set of wheels, always ready to roll. Here's something else you can count on: electricity. Just flip a switch and your life powers up. At American Transmission Company, we help make sure electricity is there when you need it. That's what we do: deliver economical, reliable power for your everyday life. American Transmission Company, helping to keep the lights on, businesses running, and communities strong.
Back here at the 2013 Cheesehead inside Kaukauna High School, 220-pound final coming up between Fisher and Ruano. But first we'll talk with Lee Meyerhofer of American Transmission Company. Representing ATC is Lee Meyerhofer. Lee, once again, thank you so much. ATC's been a big part of this now for several years. Talk about their role in the community.
Well, ATC plays a role in the communities that it serves, and you know it's a electrical transmission company, and we serve most of Wisconsin and parts of Minnesota, Michigan, Illinois, and we like to be in the communities that we serve.
And talk about that relationship with ATC and the Cheesehead.
Well, ATC and the Cheesehead, Kaukauna has its own electric utility. It's a big city that prides itself on being an electric community, and we think it's appropriate to be here. They have this great tournament with brings a lot of high caliber talent here, and it's a lot of fun to watch. So,
220 pounds, Bryce Fisher of Southeast Polk, undefeated senior. And Edgar Ruano from Montini Catholic, the junior, 25-7 for head coach Izzy Martinez.
Southeast Polk with their third wrestler so far, 3rd out of 4 in the finals. Being very aggressive to try to set the tone.
Southeast Polk leading the team race at the start of these championship matches. Fisher, 3rd at the Iowa State tournament last year at 285, now down here at 220.
You can see he's got a really tall, long, lanky frame. He's probably leaned out a little bit. He has been very offensive. That might be a better fit for him down at 220. He's been on the attack here since the first whistle blew. There's another shot.
Ruano coming off a 3rd place finish at the Dvorak down there in Illinois. And both these guys as well with Greco and freestyle experience. Back to the center with 1:12 remaining here in this first period.
There's a nice front head. He's working him down.
Ruano dives in. Able to separate. Reestablish position, 45 seconds. Fisher was 3rd here at the Cheesehead a year ago, up at 285.
It's nice to see guys looking to chain wrestle out of that front head. You know, going from the front head, and as the opponent's circling, they're looking for a single, so that's good. They're trying to get some offense going. Nice to see these big guys wrestling, not just pushing and pulling, but really getting after it.
Late here in the first. Fisher and Ruano content to wrestle a scoreless first period.
Ruano's hit some, he's pulling the trigger, he's hitting some shots, but it seems like he's letting his shoulders get out in front of his knees, which is getting him extended. He's never really bringing his body to the legs, so it's going to be tough for him to get deep in on a finish.
Fisher starts period on bottom. And Fisher with a quick escape. Match's first tally leads at 1-0. And I thought maybe a situation there with Ruano. Use that big frame on top, try to take some gas out of him.
Yeah, I mean, Fisher was able to kind of pause for a second there as the whistle blew and maybe adjust a little bit to what Ruano was throwing at him on top. And he went to a wide base stand-up, circled up, and cleared out. It's a good upper weight stand-up right there.
Fisher had a single leg, but a hard whizzer there from Ruano. A lot of times situation here, we'll get a stalemate, and we get one there with 1:25 in the second period.
The way this match has gone, it's looking like it's going to be a really tight-knit match here. You know, it doesn't seem like guys are really going to be able to get to the legs and capitalize on a finish.
Little outside single attempt there from Fisher.
Again,
now here
nice.
Ruano. Great opportunity here. You got to capitalize.
Nice chain wrestling from the front head. He hit down block and ran left to the corner. Found his way to a single. He's gonna. There it is. Doubling off, picking up two. That's some good chain wrestling there going on by
That was
Ruano.
great wrestling there from Ruano. And he's got his first lead in this championship final, 2-1. Ruano, sneaky quick. He's pretty quick.
Yeah, for a guy his size, I mean, he moves well. He's getting his legs back and running
Coffee
his feet
grinder
to the corner.
Up on his toes, a lot of pressure. And there's an escape.
Creating a lot of good movement off the bottom. You've got to like to see that from all wrestlers, but especially a big guy, getting his knees moving, moving his hips, swiveling his hips to the open space.
Tied at 2. There's a shot at the edge by Fisher and will reset.
Yeah, again, it's been nice to see. He's been on the attack. He just hasn't been able to capitalize. But, you know, the more shots he takes, that's probably going to pay off.
Ruano with the right wrist of Fisher. Goes in there for a double. Turns the corner. No points yet. Now we'll drop to a single leg.
We're seeing some good motion there. He kind of relaxed on the edge. I was surprised by that. Some nice chain wrestling there. Just again, he wasn't able to capitalize. Went from that double to the single and kind of had a little bit of an exchange, but saw the guys relax a little bit on the edge. And you know, you're not going to see that. You're not going to have that opportunity too often. Got to capitalize right there.
You know, one of those things that doesn't show up in the box score, and those are big opportunities. I mean, you got to score when those opportunities present themselves, but it's hard wrestling. It's not going to happen all the time. You got to work through it. You got to put it behind you. But Ruano right there, that would have been a second takedown, and that one would have been critical.
Yeah, that would have been big to close out the second period here. Now we got a 2-2, and you know, as offensive as Fisher has been, wouldn't surprise me to see him go in on the leg attacks here to try to finish off the second period.
Ruano, he'll have choice when we go to the third.
That's going to play a factor too. You know, if they keep that in mind, they know Ruano is probably going to choose down, so it'd be in Fisher's best interest if he's able to pull the trigger and finish a leg attack.
And maybe right off a restart here. Catch a guy on his heels.
Yep, way to execute. Oh, nothing happening here.
Look at Ruano. Got a body lock.
Great refusal. Both wrestlers continuing to wrestle, fighting things off. That's what I call being stingy right there on defense. Love seeing one guy trying to be greedy, getting to the leg attacks. The other guy's stingy, fights it off, and we have a nice exchange between both wrestlers.
And this weight class is so fun to watch. 220 pounds. These guys are athletes. I'm impressed with Ruano's athleticism in his hips. He's got those swivel hips.
Yeah, both these guys are moving really well. That's some awesome wrestling.
2-2. Ruano, no surprise, he'll go on bottom. And looks like Fisher's going to try to ride him for a little bit, looking for a cradle. And I like right there what Fisher did. In that position, you go back to a finish, and that's what he did. You run him out of bounds. Good awareness.
Yeah, he's got a fresh start there. You know, he's got to be careful doing that too many times. You know, you run a guy out of bounds, the official picks up. But
hasn't
certainly
been called
from
yet.
A strategy standpoint, you know, use your first one for sure. Here
Absolutely.
He is again.
Same situation. He's going to a finish, and this time Ruano able to get the hip separation and gets the escape to lead it 3-2. Fisher from Southeast Polk, Ruano, Montini Catholic.
Yeah, both great programs, both very well coached. You can see that the way their kids are competing out here tonight.
Mentioned Izzy Martinez and Jason Christensen, head coach there at Southeast Polk.
Fisher staying after it here.
Final minute. And Ruano with another takedown.
There's a little pancake. You know, Fisher shot in, he stayed on his knees. Ruano made him pay for that. You know, you take a risk, which is great, go in on a shot, but if it's not there, you got to circle back up. Can't hang out on the knees.
And you talk about these schedules. Ruano comes in 25-7, but you got to remember, I believe Montini is at the Iron Man, Beast of the East, Clash. I mean, some of those great tournaments, the Dvorak, the great tournaments here in this country, they're at them, Cheesehead included. And it's about getting better.
Yeah, they're definitely battle tested, you know. They're doing putting in the matches, and here Ruano's just going to hold position. It's nice to see Fisher's continuing to attack, though. You know, it's only 5-3. He can still win this.
26 seconds, and one thing with me, Mike, I'm a body language guy, and I always like to watch body language, and I'm looking at Fisher right there.
Coach Christensen coming down, checking out his wrestler. I know you brought up both him and Coach Martinez, but I bet you those two guys would be the first to tell you how important their support staff is. We all know how important that is to have a great assistant coaching staff and youth coaching staff around you, because it takes a lot to build a really successful wrestling program.
And you nailed it right on the head. These are not teams. These are programs. And it starts when these are young kids and everybody's on the same page. Philosophy is the same throughout the ranks of the coaching staff, and it's about being cohesive.
Yeah, and I'm going to guess that a lot of the kids that are wrestling in these finals have come up through their youth programs, through their middle schools, and are proud to represent their high school programs out here tonight.
16 seconds.
Rwanda doing after it.
Rwanda doing a nice job maintaining position. Final seconds. See if Fisher's got something. There's a stalling on Rwanda, only his forced, and he's going to go behind and put a cherry on top of a Cheesehead championship. That was a workmanlike performance there from Montini Jr. Edgar Ruano. He's your Cheesehead champion at 220.
He really did a good job out there tonight. Kept the guy fighting off his legs. He kind of pick and choose when he was going to score, but he kept moving the entire match, and it paid off for him.
Top-notch kids are scared of that shirt. So if you get that shirt, it's one thing that you have that almost no one else has.
Getting the I Did It shirt means I went through the workouts. I did everything I needed to do.
If I get the shirt, it's going to be a great day. I'm going to put it in my wrestling room at my school.
When I go back to Texas, I'm wearing it to every tournament for everybody can know that they don't want to mess with me.
Shane Sparks, Mike Derone back here inside Kaukauna High School. Hard to believe already your 15th here at the 15th Annual Cheesehead Invitational. And earlier today we talked with the head coach of the host school Kaukauna, Jeff Machek. Hard to believe it's been 15 years since this great tournament began. Talk about where the seed was planted. Talk about the vision.
Scott Cleaver, good friend of mine and of Kaukauna Wrestling, came back home in 1997 or 8, got it started and built the new school, and started small with 9 schools and built up to 16 and 20 and 24, and now we're at 28. And the number is not as a big thing as the quality of teams, hospitality, and 15 years, you can't really say tradition yet, but we're getting there.
This tournament's become one of the premier events in the country. You look around, so many people. This truly is a community event. Talk about the work that goes into this.
A ton of work. So much behind the scenes things with alumni, with Stephen Ann McDaniel, John Moore, obviously Scott Cleaver, their families, and then just all the subcommittees. Lee Meyerhofer with ATC Connections, working with Justin Tritz and track wrestling, getting these boards up in the gym. Our custodial staff, Kaukauna Area School District, the community, our city, bringing in the bleachers from down at the softball parks all week. Just things like that just come together, and it's definitely it's a team effort.
Your team ranked number 1 in Wisconsin in Division I. Solid team. This tournament, of course, is such a grinder. How have you guys performed?
Well, this was our first real test of the season, with a nationally ranked tournament. Teams coming in, and it's been a grind for us. We had a really good Friday night and won a lot of matches against higher seeded wrestlers, pulled some overtime matches out, won some 1-point comebacks, set us up for a tough day today. We had quite a few kids in that top 8, and they struggled to win matches in that bracket. So we got a lot of nice kids. We work hard, but we've got some things we got to work on.
You guys are gunning for a team state championship. You've been in the mix for many years. You're very successful. Talk about the importance of wrestling this kind of competition.
Well, it's no secret. Iron sharpens iron, and you have to expose yourself and learn from it. You can't walk out on the mat and expect an All-American to rub off on you and make you an All-American. You have to compete against them, and you have to study it, you have to break it down, you have to get back into the room and work the techniques and the skills and the conditioning and the mental edge to the sport in order to benefit off of it, and that's exactly what we have to do to get us to where we want to be.
Time for the big guys here at 285 pounds in all Wisconsin. Cheesehead Championship. Luxembourg, Casco, and Stoughton will collide in this 285-pound final. Get a look there at the updated team scores. Southeast Polk out of Iowa still with a comfortable lead over Montini Catholic of Illinois. You see Marmion Academy there, followed by Bettendorf, Apple Valley. They've won the 3 previous Cheeseheads. Glenbard North and Edwardsville. Talked about the great talent there in the state of Illinois. Waverly Shellrock out of Iowa. Simley, Minnesota. And in their first trip here to Kaukauna, West Fargo out of North Dakota, looking to remain in the top 10. What a great tournament. I mean, you want to wrestle the best kids from all over the country, and mentioned some of those tournaments before, and the Cheesehead definitely right in that select company.
Yeah, it's one of the major tournaments that comes up every winter. I mean, you talked about the whether it's the Dvorak or the Beast of the East, the Iron Man, the Clash. The Cheesehead is right up there, and it's a nationally recognized event.
See Newton Smirchek there, 27-1. The senior won this a year ago, that left-handed lateral. Stuck Matt Katerlik of Simley to win that title a year ago. Jesse Nelson of Stoughton, 28-1. Nelson is the #1 ranked 285-pounder in Division I. Smirchek, the #1 ranked 285-pounder in Division II. Smirchek, a state champion a year ago. His only loss, Smirchek's, to the #1 ranked Division III 285. That was at the Bi-State Classic final to Cole Johnson of DeSoto.
Yeah, and all 3 of these guys are certainly full-grown, big athletic heavyweights. This should be a great final. It's awesome to see 2 Wisconsin kids here battling out in the finals, too, representing their respective divisions where they can come in and battle head-to-head.
Nelson's lone defeat came at the Kansas City Stampede, where he finished 3rd. Nelson was a qualifier at the state tournament as a sophomore, was 3rd place a year ago. And I remember the very first time I saw Jesse Nelson, I believe he was a sophomore, and he was a man then.
Yeah, as I said, both of these guys are definitely full grown, and they're stepping their toe on the line here, and they're going to get after it.
Nelson was 4th here a year ago, fell in that 3rd place match to Bryce Fisher of Southeast Polk. Both these guys, no surprise, a lot of accolades on the gridiron as well. And great example with these 2 guys. And a lot of football coaches understand the importance. Get your football players wrestling your big guys. Teach them footwork, hand fighting, getting tough in positions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the transfer of wrestling to getting on the line and learning leverage and really how to feel your body. Plus just lifting all winter. Not in the weight room, not just in the weight room, but moving bodies around in a dynamic environment. Man, that translates into some great football players.
Smirchek, nationally ranked 6th in the country, top spots in the Intermat rankings here at 285. Adam Kuhn out of Michigan. And with Smirchek, he is so good upper body, another guy with experience. You coach Newton. I remember a couple of years back, that was in cadets at Rochester, Minnesota. I remember, I believe it was against Georgia. I don't recall that exact team, but he might have been Oklahoma. He couldn't get scored on. Remember that?
Yes, I do, and he really stepped up for our team back then. I've been fortunate to work with Newton at a lot of different camps and through my wrestling club when he was a little boy. It's nice to see him mature. And
when was Newton little?
Well, yeah. I guess I should say when he was younger, but he's a great kid. He's an awesome student. He's going to make for a great pickup for some lucky college team out there.
I know right now he's kind of going back and forth a little bit, I believe, as far as playing football, wrestling. A lot of options.
See if we can get some offense going here. You know, he's certainly been chasing to his best ties, trying to wrestle on that upper body, but Nelson hit a nice attack, that edge of the mat position. It's so key. You cannot relax on the edge of the mat. Nelson really did a nice job. Great recovery by Smirchek.
Saw Jesse Nelson win the Badger States Invitational. That is a tournament hosted by Stoughton. And in that final at 285 wrestling, a kid named Brock Milkent, Saw one of the sweetest double legs I've seen from anybody, and it came from Nelson at 285.
Yeah, he's explosive. He showed some of it right there on the edge of the mat. Didn't capitalize, but I think that's a credit to Smirchek too. He hit his butt on the mat and then he bounced, man. He really responded well. I love how he's really chasing his upper body positions. You see it pay off with a stall call there against Jesse Nelson.
Just 10 ticks showing here in this first period. Saw a few good flurries, a lot of banging with Smirchek and Nelson, and we'll go to the second period. No score. Comes up red for Smirchek, and he'll go on bottom. Luxembourg Casco, one of the prominent Division II programs here in Wisconsin. They are the reigning team state champions and a favorite to do it again here in this 2012-2013 season. Bob Rousseau, Hall of Fame coach for the Spartans.
Yeah, both of these guys, both of these teams are really well coached. Coach Brousseau's been just a legend up there, getting a lot done, and Coach Empey and Coach Spildy doing good things at Stoughton, trying to build a fellow championship level program.
Smirchek with an escape, leads at 1-0. Always watching for that left-handed lateral. The best in the business by Smirchek. He has stuck a lot of guys with that left-handed lateral.
Yeah, he's great when he goes upstairs. You can see he's wanting to force his ties. That was a great strategy there, though. You know, he really mixed things up where he's trying to drive for that over-under, and Nelson kind of relaxed a little on the edge and went and found a snatch single. He hits that in the middle. He's got a higher percentage chance of scoring there.
Dan Spildy, a Big Ten champion at the University of Wisconsin.
One of the few guys to knock off Lincoln McElravy
yes.
in the Big Ten Finals, I believe. Spildy was quite a hammer.
Stoughton in the 1980s, all kinds of success under Vern Pieper. 35 seconds.
Smirchek chasing that body lock. Gotta like that he's being aggressive. He's working his offense.
Nice job there by Nelson to circle back inside. Little attack of his own. He's been hit once with stalling.
Nelson's got one stall call against him. Newton keeps moving forward, so I'm gonna see this.
Nelson's got to be careful.
Well, he could be playing possum too, though. Backing up, backing up, backing up. That could be a setup to hitting that blast double that he does so well. Could be trying to lull him to sleep a little bit. Sometimes you see that upper weights. There's that double. Oh.
Wow, what a close to the period. It's going to be 2 takedown for Nelson.
As I said, lull him to sleep a little bit, catch him sleeping a little bit on the edge, end of the period.
No back points?
No back points. Hit it right at the end of the period and they flushed it out. Very explosive though, shows what he's capable of. Newton just decided to go neutral right away.
Now 3-1 in favor of Nelson.
That was a big takedown to end the period. Newton chasing his best positions. You gotta love it. Staying aggressive, staying offensive.
You can tell this crowd wants to see him throw.
There's a great throw. Picked up the single, went out of bounds. Nice to see, nice to see. See Coach Spildy telling Nelson to get on a 2-on-1, kind of slow things down.
I believe Jesse Nelson looking at UW Whitewater.
Smirchek is taking a close look at Central Michigan University. Coach Tom Borelli over there.
you get the feeling something big's coming from somebody, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to come from Smirchak, because Nelson's in the driver's seat right now. You got to imagine he's not going to take another big risk like he did, the one that paid off for him. Smirchak's been pushing the pace, though. He's got to continue to wrestle. He's got a stall call against him under a minute to go in the third.
Getting late, 35 seconds.
Now we got to see if Smirchak can kind of change things up a little bit. There's a stall point.
Now 3-2.
Just needs one now. Change his upper body tie.
Short time, just 15 seconds.
These heavyweight matches, a lot of times you can make one takedown hold up. Looks like it's going to pay off here for him. Smirchak's going to need a little magic.
And Jesse Nelson of Stoughton goes behind. A couple of takedowns. Both came late. In periods 2 and 3, Jesse Nelson, the Viking senior, your 285-pound champion. 5-2, Nelson over Smirchak. It's the 15th annual Cheesehead Invitational here on Fox Sports.
Would you trust your car to a backyard mechanic? Then why would you trust your electrical work to anyone but a trusted electrical professional? When you need power to drive your business, you can find the electrical contractor you need by going to truepro.org online. Put in your location and call the trusted professionals you'll find at your fingertips.
Another impressive performance for Marmine Academy of Illinois. Earlier we talked with their head coach, Ryan Cumby. Coach, you guys with a couple in the finals, but a very young team. You guys in the mix for a trophy. You've wrestled well.
Absolutely. This team is doing well. We have 8 starting freshmen. Everybody's won at least 2 matches. We've had a long season. We're just battling right now, and I'm very excited about the way our guys are wrestling. I couldn't be more happy. And we have our anchors, obviously, but we have these guys. Everybody's putting in their part, working on the things we've been working on at practice, and making sure that we're developing, using this as a learning experience for our team.
You talk about the anchors, Johnny Jimenez and George Fisher. They'll wrestle for titles. 2 tough kids, 2 tough opponents. Talk about what you appreciate about those kids and talk about the way they battle.
Well, you know what? I don't think it's coincidence that I have Johnny and I have George in the finals, because they're my 2 captains. They're partners in the wrestling room. They go hard. They lead by example. And all I want them to do is give me 100% effort, because we've taught them a lot of stuff. They've learned a lot of stuff. If they stick to their game plan, I don't see any problem for either of them. So I expect 2 championships.
Shane Sparks and Mike Derone back here inside Kaukauna High School. Exciting match between Jesse Nelson and Newton Smirchak in the All-Wisconsin battle for bragging rights at 285, won by Nelson. And now we'll bring it all the way down to 106 pounds. Nolan Hellickson, an undefeated sophomore from Southeast Polk, meeting Patrick Augustin, a sophomore from Glenbar North, with a mark of 22-3. And now we'll see a quick style change here with these 106-pounders.
Yeah, you bet. But I'll tell you, I was impressed with with some of that action that took place at those upper weight matches. You know, now we got those lightweights. We're going to see them out there flying around, a little more fakes, a little more feet moving. Hopefully get some offense going on the feet. Exciting for the fans.
Hellickson ranked 20th in the nation here at 106. He was 3rd in freestyle out at Fargo as the cadets. Augustin was a runner-up at the Conan tournament there in Illinois. Southeast Polk with a pretty good grip in the team race.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. This will be their 4th guy, and they have yet to get an individual championship.
Right out of the gate, Hellickson with a quick shot. Single leg, head to the inside.
Great job setting him to his butt there. He's going to capitalize, get a finish. Nice to see guys just coming right out on the attack.
You said it before, live on the legs. You live on the legs, ironically, you win a lot of matches.
Yeah, it's simple. It's not easy, but it is simple. Got to get that offense going. Got to be getting to their legs. You're going to have to earn it, but sure makes a lot of sense. The more you get a hard hand fight going and work to those leg attacks, more chances you're in, the more time it's going to pay off.
Last year at 106, we saw Malu Waywar of Apple Valley defeat Brian Rossi of Lockport. Yeah, Hellickson right off the whistle, just to set up an attack, was able to finish.
Seeing some nice transition wrestling here. Front head, went from the shot to his front head. He's staying low, looks like he's back on the, there he is. Back on the attack, dumps it out with a little outside carry, staying on that wrist control. Maybe gonna go to work on top with a tilt here.
Leads at 4-1, 2 takedowns in the opening minute 15. And they'll address Augustin. You look at the history of this tournament, Mike. NCAA qualifiers, All-Americans, national champions. Qualifiers, Josh Wagner for Milton, wrestled for Brian Smith at Missouri, was a teammate of Ben Askren. Ben is here tonight. Connor Beebe. Man, was he phenomenal for Montini. Went on to Central Michigan for Coach Borelli. Eric Rahalis. In my 10, 11 years being at this tournament, he was about as dominant as they got.
Yeah, you bet.
From Brandon, Florida, storied program with Coach Kozard. He's at Michigan right now. Stephen Monk, North Dakota State, doing a nice job. Recently placing high at the Midlands Championships down there at Northwestern. Jake Souflone won this tournament a couple of times. He's ranked top 10 for Coach Manning and the Cornhuskers. Joe Buddy from Kaukauna. Man, what a senior season he had before wrestling at Old Dominion. Won the Ironman, won the Cheesehead, undefeated at the Clash. Beat a tough kid in the state finals in Jody Van Landen from Ashwaubenon. Back at it. 4-2 now, 40 seconds. A little bit later on, talk about some of those All-Americans and a couple national champions that wrestled at the Cheesehead. Action stopped again, 35 seconds. Mark Jane from Illinois, Matt Pell, Charlie Falk.
Yeah, it's really been amazing to see the talent that has come through here and how that's transitioned all the way up into the Division I college level.
These All-Americans,
some of the greats out here.
I'm mentioning Dallas Herbst at Wisconsin, Max Askren at Missouri. Also a national champion, Mikey Benefield. He won 4 of these.
He's now wrestling at Elmhurst College,
yes,
Division
with Coach Marinetti. Along with Max Askren, Ryan Bertine wrestled at St. Ed's and then captured a couple of national titles for the Wolverines of Michigan.
Nice seeing these little guys getting after it. Both guys are just back and forth attacking. We've had some blood time kind of slowing down the match, but when the whistles blow, man, they're going.
You look at the guys in this tournament, they will only add to that prestigious list. 4-2 first period. Couple of takedowns for Hellickson. Choice goes to Augustin. He'll defer. And Hellickson will start this second period on bottom.
Seeing some nice movement there. He's hanging out on the single. Did a good job kicking out of that ankle. Guys drop down the ankle. You want to be kicking. He's doing a good job here. leaves the top wrestler with very little options. Here's going to turn that into a reversal. Oh, and they went out of bounds.
A lot of times, too, in that position, you want to keep kicking. If anything else, you get a stalling against your opponent.
Yeah, it's really at a disadvantage. At that point, you make the decision to drop down to that ankle. If the bottom wrestler is going to continue to kick away in a circle like that, it really leaves that top wrestler with very little options. He's going to try to chase the hips, but as he lets go of the ankle, a lot of times that turns into an escape for the bottom wrestler. So not always the best decision with a full minute and a half in the period. Maybe a short time, 5-10 second situation.
Great tournaments, and can't say enough about this community and the people that support wrestling here, and the countless hours, the many volunteers that put a lot of time and commitment into making this Cheesehead what it is. Want to thank John Moore,
the wrestling
tournament director.
Really embraces it. Hotels are packed here.
We got a story about that a little bit later on. Augustin doing a nice job on top. Again, he drops down, but now he works back up, but Hellickson staying busy on the bottom. Good hard wrestling between both those guys.
That's some great hustle out of Hellickson. He's continuing to move. He's not satisfied with keeping his lead. He's trying to extend his lead here. Again, he's moving all the time. Hips, knees, feet moving. Augustin's done a good job kind of stopping that stand-up about halfway through. Seeing Hellickson getting a little bit frustrated here.
Well, what Augustin's doing is winning those 10, 15-second positions.
Yeah. I mean, he's certainly keeping him down, and it's starting to frustrate Hellickson a little bit.
Augustin has been able to ride Hellickson for the first minutes.
Slide away here.
But here Hellickson in great position.
Love to see how these high school guys are chain wrestling, going to punch that corner. A lot of times you see kids that are just trying to spin around the waist, but at this high a level, you're starting to see that trickle-down effect from the high school level, or excuse me, the college level down into the high school level, where guys are going out of that down block, they're sliding down out of the front head, and rather than going around that waist for a spin behind, they're either punching the corner or transition into a single on that other side, because it allows them to chain wrestle out of there.
Hellickson with the reversal, and now leads at 6-2. And Hellickson never has stopped moving on bottom. He never stopped.
No, and it really it showed there as he transitioned out from his stand-up. When Augustin dropped down to that leg, he was ready to sprawl. Down block, went front head. He bounced and punched the corner.
There you get a look at some of those volunteers. John Moore there standing up. Steve McDaniel. Tom Goff, longtime wrestling writer here in the Fox Cities. On the left there, I believe that is Jeff Machek and Chris McDaniel. Chris's wife Mary there to our left, his right. You see Ann McDaniel, got to mention her. She does so much work. And that's one thing too, it's a family sport.
You bet. Yeah, I mean, you know, wrestling tournaments just like this, it takes a lot of work, a lot of volunteers. It's a family affair, and it's great to see that people can come together through wrestling.
Half a minute here in the second period. Hellickson up by 4. Has that single leg. And here he wants to elevate because
there he is.
There he does. Nice job.
Chasing the hips. He's not letting him breathe. Continue to transition right to his next breakdown. He's working on that elbow.
That was a hard-fought period by both those guys, but you look at Hellickson, he was rode for the first minutes, then he gets that reversal and gets the ride out, finishes the period on top. That's a toughness, that's a mentality.
And you can see he's barely even breathing here. You can tell what great shape he's in. You know, he's ready to go here in the third period. He's going to cut him and see if he can go back to work on his feet. He's kept a high pace and he's not breathing hard, so he's obviously doing some things right in the wrestling room, probably getting his sprints in.
to be successful, to be among the elite in this sport, no doubt about it, you got to be extremely sound in your position and your technique. But sometimes, throw it out the window. It's about just being tough, having a mentality, and knowing how to fight.
Yeah, you bet. I mean, you know, the opponent's got to feel like I'm in a fight here. He has to feel that. That question mark has to enter his mind. Am I in a fight right here? And that's kind of the approach that Hellickson's taken to him right here.
Wisconsin Rapids, they've won 20 team state championships, a very successful program here in Wisconsin. And their head coach, Scott Bennett, once told me, he said, we don't ask our guys to win. We ask our guys to fight. That's all you can ask.
Yeah, great coaching staff up there at Rapids. They're a little bit down this year, but there's no doubt that those kids are well coached and they'll be back in no time.
Another score there by Hellickson, as he's now up by 5, 8-3.
And right on the attack on top, gets his takedown. He's working out for the wrist. Very impressive job.
Watching Hellickson doesn't show a weakness. Neutral, on top, busy on bottom, and a gas tank, just relentless.
Yeah, consistently transitioning from one move to the next. You know, a lot of times it's not so much the wrestling moves, it's about movement. And he's consistently moving and moving and moving. He's keeping his movement up, and you know, you can see where it's opening up this match now. He's riding hard in the third period. See that ankle to the chop, back to the single. Chasing that corner, now he's climbing the hips, just constantly moving from one thing to the next, never letting his opponent really breathe.
Nolan Hellickson, the 20th ranked 106-pounder in the country, can add a Cheesehead championship to his resume. An impressive victory over Glenbard North's Patrick Augustin. 8 for the final. Hellickson doubling up Augustin. And Southeast Polk has itself a Cheesehead champion.
Wrestlers, are you ready for the next step? USA Wrestling challenges you to test your skills at the USA Wrestling Cliff Keen Athletic Folkstyle Nationals. Become a national champion. Head to the Unidome in Cedar Falls, Iowa on April 5th and 6th to compete against the best wrestlers in the country. Last year's event featured 1,200 cadet and junior wrestlers from 32 states on 26 mats. For more information about this event and other tournaments, visit usawrestlingevents.com.
15th annual Cheesehead Invitational here on Fox Sports. You look around, all kinds of big names in this sport of wrestling. One of those, funky Ben Askren. We talked with him earlier. Ben, you were always a fan of seeking out the best competition. These kids find it this weekend. Talk about getting better. Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, this is an awesome tournament. It's definitely the best tournament we have in Wisconsin. Scott Cleaver's built it up over the years, and now we got teams from everywhere coming. I looked at the brackets this weekend, and it's just amazing how tough it is.
You're down running Askren Wrestling Academy down there in Heartland, Wisconsin. You get to see these kids develop. A lot of those kids down south wrestling here. Talk about the development of wrestling the last 5 years.
The kids are wrestling more these days than when I was in high school. There's so many kids wrestling year-round, even from a younger age, which you didn't really see when I was coming up through the ranks, and now there's tournaments all year-round, camps, academies like my own that are popping up. So kids are getting a lot more experience at a younger age, so therefore they're getting a lot better.
What's keeping you busy these days?
Doing a lot of things. I always got my hands in a lot of things. I got a fight January 24th. It'll be on Spike TV. I'm the Bellator champion, defending the title. Helping out at Askren Wrestling Academy, getting my camps ready for next summer, the Askren Brothers camp. So doing a lot of things, and I got a baby on the way, so that's a good one.
You're looking at the 113-pound Cheesehead championship match. It pits Zach Smith of Port Washington, a sophomore, 16-2, under Angelo LaRosa, and Tommy Polsky, 27-5, a senior for Montini Catholic. Smith, Wisconsin State runner-up, fell to Jens Lons of Ellsworth in that final last February inside the Kohl Center. Polsky, an Illinois state champion a year ago at 106 after finishing 4th as a sophomore at 103. Looking forward to this battle.
Yeah, Polsky didn't waste any time. He went right in on a shot. Nice high crotch, sat Zach down to his hip, but Zach showed some great refusal. Shut that down. He went out of bounds there again. Smith being very stingy on defense. He's really tough there when guys are in on his legs. Showing some offense of his own.
Smith had a huge stick in the semis. He was trailing Brian Rossi from Lockport. He was trailing him big, and he pinned him with about 30 seconds left in that third period. A huge win in his young career.
Nice scramble here. He turned that shot into a scramble. Looks like he's going to score here. He's continuing to go. Nothing yet. He's got a cradle locked.
Last year, Smith suffered an injury here at the Cheesehead and did not return until the regionals, made the best of it. As I mentioned, finished second at the Wisconsin State tournaments. Last year, Polsky was 3rd here at 106. An accomplished Greco and freestyle wrestler as well for Team Illinois. No score as we approach the 30-second mark in this first period. Fort Washington High School that Alex Duringer wrestled at. He's ranked top 10 for John Smith and the Oklahoma State Cowboys in his redshirt freshman campaign at 157.
Yeah, Smith's a big 13-pounder. He's very strong. It looks like he's put a lot of time in the weight room here. He's doing a nice job controlling the ties. Great arm drag.
You look at Smith and his hips, legs, strong as you mentioned. And scoreless after 1. Matt Zawaska also in the corner there for Port Washington. Former college coach with Tim Fader at UW Whitewater. Smith will go on bottom here to start this second period. That time, Polsky able to beat the arm, and he'll go to work here on top. If nothing else, Mike, as we talked about earlier, if you're able to ride a guy 30, 40 seconds, take something out of his gas tank, make him earn it.
Yeah, it definitely can take something out of your gas tank. If not your physical gas tank, your mental gas tank. If you're stuck on your belly, face in the mat, that can wear down on you. Smith had a nice roll attempt there. Polsky still keeping him on his stomach.
Polsky, nice tight waist. Pressure forward. Wrist control. Lot of pressure. Smith trying to work up to a base.
Polsky's riding tough. He's kind of riding hip to hip, though. Be interested to see if the official's going to let him ride parallel much longer. Oh, there's a stall call.
Blaine Felsman making that call. 40 seconds. Action stopped here in the second period. And here off this restart, it is critical, of course, for Smith.
Yeah, he's got to try to explode up right away. Polsky's been real tough on top. He's willing to ride him parallel, so Smith's got to just create some movement down there. Get his knees moving, get his hips moving, get a big explosion coming up off the whistle, putting 2 and 3 moves together until he's out of there.
Polsky was 4th at the Dvorak. There you see Matt Zawaska giving instructions to Zach Smith.
Interesting to see a senior at this weight class. Pawlowski was a very, very tough kid. I believe he is signed with Stanford or committed to Stanford here next year, so we'll see how he grows into the 125 weight class next year.
And he's 30 seconds away from riding Smith this entire second period. Smith trying to work up. There's that roll attempt once again, but Pawlowski stays right with him. Has that near ankle scooped up. Again, Wade Ford, just a lot of pressure, maintaining good position. Short time now, 15 seconds. Smith trying to grab one.
Some good movement there by both wrestlers. Smith trying to work that Granby attempt. That's been kind of a staple of the Port Washington program for a lot of years. Coach Duffy Brailsford down there worked that system in very well. Port Washington wrestlers had a lot of success with that.
No score. Third period, Pawlowski suffocating on top in that second period, and now he'll go on bottom. And we'll see how Smith plays it. A little bit early there, I believe.
Like he jumped the gun, but here's a nice jam. He gets the weight forward on the hands. Some good movement there.
And this would be huge for Pawlowski if he's able to get a reversal.
Zach's good here, though. He can go big.
And there's an escape by Pawlowski to take a 1-0 lead, but I give Smith credit that he didn't give up two, especially because of Tommy's ability to ride. That would have been big trouble for Zach Smith.
Yeah, again, I said it before, he is very stingy. When guys are in on his legs, he is tough to score on. He's got some different weapons where he can score just with basic defense, but if they drive up, he's been known to hit a kind of a flying cement job, really chuck the guy over, and he can pin people from anywhere.
Well, we saw that in that semifinal. Believe he was down to Rossi 12-4. Good attack there from Pawlowski. Doesn't waste any time on bottom, but good defense there by Smith, coming up underneath through the crotch. And right here, Smith trying to force stalemate.
Yeah, again, you're just seeing him doing what he's good at. Defending, he's got a great opportunity to score here. He's out to the side. He's got an ankle hooked. Edge of the mat might come back and hurt him, but we'll see it here. They go out of bounds. It's just about had a score there, so this is still anybody's match.
And we'll stop action once again, 106. That was a good attack from Pawlowski with that last shot.
Yeah, it really was. He was in deep on that shot, but Smith did a good job kind of fighting it off. I think he really feels wrestling pretty well. He feels when the guy's driving and where there's just kind of those shifts in pressure. Passing him out to the side like that, getting to that crotch lock and being able to lift it through, showed that he's got some great skills.
Well, he's been able to stave off a couple of pretty good attacks from Pawlowski.
Yeah, you bet. Pawlowski's been throwing everything he's had at him, and Zach's been able to shut it down. Now we got to see if he can get his own offense going and try to score here in the third period.
Minutes remaining here in regulation. Another good attack there from Pawlowski. Single leg now switches off to a double. 2 feet inside the circle and 2 on the scoreboard. And a big cricket 3 spot for the Montini senior, up 3-0.
Yeah, that's going to be tough to stop. If this guy's going to continue to attack a senior here, he's probably going to make it work, and he did there. Smith's continuing to wrestle. Nice scramble action. Good, he's got his ankle.
Pawlowski again able to chop the arm. Now into a hammer lock.
This top wrestling tonight has been very impressive by the group of winners. They've all been riding that hip, really grinding well, not giving any space.
Third a year ago at 106. And in this his senior season, Tommy Poilski of Montini Catholic, a Cheesehead champion at 113. Poilski over Smith, 3-0. We'll be back with more of the Cheesehead Invitational here on Fox Sports.
For just a moment, think about your life without electricity. No lights, no refrigerator, no computers. It's hard to imagine, isn't it? American Transmission Company helps to keep the lights on. ATC's electric transmission lines deliver electricity from where it's generated to where it's needed. We help provide people in Wisconsin with economical, reliable power for their everyday life. American Transmission Company, helping to keep the lights on, businesses running, and communities strong.
We're set for the 120-pound championship match between Johnny Jimenez of Marmion Academy and Jordan Shearer of West Fargo. Earlier today, I talked with both combatants. Here with Johnny Jimenez of Marmion Academy. Johnny, you were a runner-up as a freshman. Last year, appendicitis kept you out of this tournament. Now you're back in the finals. Talk about the keys to you getting back to a championship match here at the Cheesehead.
It's always recovering well, like mentally, you know. The surgery never really took me out too much. Right when I got back, I was excited to wrestle. Since then, I always turned it up in the wrestling room and practicing hard every day. And I've been excited for this tournament. I've been here since freshman year, so it feels really good being in the finals.
You guys at Marmion Academy down there in Illinois, you're a state power, a national power wrestle, a real tough schedule. Talk about what you do to mentally prepare for big matches.
I treat them like it's any other match. You know, I don't give anyone respect, and I wrestle everyone to my very best. So I just look at that like that for every tournament. So that's the kind of mental attitude I go in with.
Here with West Fargo's Jordan Shearer. He's a finalist at 120 pounds. First time here for West Fargo at this tournament. How cool is it to be here in Wisconsin wrestling some of the best in the country?
It's really a good opportunity for us as a team. We get to see some of the best people in the country, and it's a step up from what we're used to in North Dakota, so it's really good for us.
Tell us about how you've wrestled this season.
So far this season, I think I've done pretty good. 22-1. Second at one tournament. It's just got to shake it off, keep going. So,
what'll be the keys for you in this final? Tough opponent.
Keeping good position, staying on my shots, my aggressiveness. So,
Shane Sparks along with Mike Derone here inside Kaukauna High School as we turn our attention to this 120-pound Cheesehead Championship match. It pits Johnny Jimenez, a 28-2 Marmion Academy junior, and West Fargo sophomore Jordan Shearer. He brings with him a 22-1 mark.
West Fargo definitely showed why they deserve to come to this tournament. 2 in the finals here tonight. Already had a champion with Preston Lehman. Be trying to climb the team score rankings here.
You got a 2-time state champion from North Dakota and a 2-time state champion from Illinois. Jimenez this season, you talk about the schedules that these teams wrestle. Marmion Academy, tough schedule. Jimenez was 3rd at the Ironman. He was a runner-up at the Dvorak.
A lot of these high school programs are getting out of state. I know we're seeing that with Heartland Arrowhead and Port Washington going up to the Clash. You know, teams are going out and competing. You know, Kaukana's made a couple of treks down to the Ironman. Luxembourg Casco consistently goes out of state to test themselves. Wisconsin Rapids, all the same thing. You know, the best teams are continually going year in, year out. It's also nice to see Ellsworth here this year. Their first time down here at the Cheesehead and testing themselves against some national competition. It's going to be great for their program.
Jimenez here looking to put Shearer on his back. He's got him tight.
He just went right after it. He's looking for a fall big time here. He's going to finish in a cement job position.
Just going to settle in, plenty of time. No need to panic. You stay patient here. Still 50 seconds. And with West Fargo.
Shearer's showing some real fight, though.
Shearer was a runner-up at the Minnesota Christmas Tournament. He was a champion at the Rumble on the Red. Great tournaments.
this could be bad here.
He's got him all tied up. Lifting the head up. When the head comes up, the shoulder blades go down, but Scheer near the edge trying to find a second life.
And great effort there. That's a sign of a tough wrestler.
You won't see too many guys escape from that position.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of match left. Just got to go out, chip away at it 1 point at a time. A lot of wrestling left on the clock.
You know, here with 15 seconds, if you're Scheer, find a way to get a tally. Escape.
Get a point on the board. Looks like he's working his way there. He's up to his feet.
Jimenez had a chance to watch him wrestle Jens Lantz. You mentioned Ellsworth before. Lantz, one of the better wrestlers here in Wisconsin, and was really impressed with Johnny Jimenez. Just tough. That's what I think about when I watch him wrestle.
Yeah, he's impressive. It looks like he wants to go back on his feet here and get after it. This could be good for Scherer too, to get kind of a fresh start on his feet, get a little breathing room. You know, it went feet to back before. There's no reason it can't go back the other way.
Those are the guys that are always so dangerous. The guys that got that firepower, feet to back from neutral, or even, you know, being on bottom and being able to take a guy to his back from the bottom position. You don't see too many guys like that, but there's a few.
No, definitely going from the feet. That's a sign of wrestling. A lot of freestyle and Greco, taking it feet to back. That off-season wrestling, again, it's just pays such huge dividends.
Now 7-0. He'll cut him to make it 7-1.
Like that he's right back on the offense, though. Looking for that ankle pick. Trying to extend his lead.
Jimenez has an arsenal. Watching him today, it's been a number of different attacks he's been successful with. Very crisp.
Yeah, he's been able to mix it up. I'm interested to see what he does from the mat. All of our champions so far have been really tough on top tonight. He's changed the style up a little bit, mixing up his arsenal on his feet. Here's Scherer getting after it.
Jimenez, though, at the hips. Poked in the eye, perhaps. 37 seconds in this second period. Ryan Cumbing, his first year there at Marmion Academy. Also in the corner, Joe Silvestro with son Angelo. Wrestled at Marmion Academy a year ago where he won a state title. Now wrestling for Coach Cole at Cornell. Really good guy, fun guy to talk wrestling with. Short time, 20 seconds. Kind of a little slide-by attempt there from Scheer. Now he dives in, but just hasn't been able to find an angle. Getting his head stuffed underneath, straight on the tracks.
Yeah,
and against a guy like Jimenez, you got to have something with a little bit more conviction.
Yeah, he's been straight on with his attacks. Jimenez has slowed down a little bit here in the second period. He's going top. He's going to pick top. Let's see what he's got going. Interesting to see. You can see he's a 3-time North Dakota state champion only as a sophomore.
You're right. I had misspoke previously saying he was a 2-timer, so I stand corrected. 3-time, and
another
much like in Minnesota,
states.
he can wrestle in middle school.
Yeah.
Eight to 1, and
Scherer's on the offense. He's just really not creating many angles, not hand fighting very well to try to get to the legs. Shots are straight on. Here's Jimenez going to a cement job. Oh, he locked him up in a cradle. Jimenez is really flowing well from his one attack to the next, or else defend and go to his own offense. A lot of it is attack to score to a score.
Final minute. Another takedown there from Jimenez. Nice back trip.
Nice hard return there. Shear's been going in, trying to look for a little short dump there out of that fireman's, and that's gets to be a little bit lower percentage. The higher caliber opponents that you get up to.
Jimenez, that half Nelson, that roll through half. When you're able to get that in and roll it through, that is tight.
Yeah, I remember Dallas Herbst, one of our former Cheesehead champions, used that a lot at the college level.
Another guy that was phenomenal with that was Jason Ness at Minnesota.
Jesse Jansen made a living on that coming out of Harvard.
Shear to his feet, but time is going to run out on the West Fargo sophomore.
Nice to see he's continued to attack, though. He's wrestling all 6 minutes. He knows he's down by 9. He's continuing to wrestle hard. Gotta like that.
Jimenez of Marmine Academy, 8th ranked in the country, and he is a Cheesehead champion at 120 pounds. 15th annual Cheesehead Invitational from Kaukauna. More of it coming up here on Fox Sports.
Top-notch kids are scared of that shirt. So if you get that shirt, it's one thing that you have that almost no one else has.
Getting the I Did It shirt means I went through the workouts. I did everything I needed to do.
If I get the shirt, it's going to be a great day. I'm going to put it in my wrestling room at my school.
When I go back to Texas, I'm wearing it to every tournament for everybody can know that they don't want to mess with me.
Something has got to give in this 126-pound final. Jared Cortez from Glenbard North, Freddie Strunker from Bettendorf, Iowa. Earlier, I talked with both. Here with Jared Cortez at Glenbard North. You were here as a freshman, then for Marmine Academy, a runner-up. Not here last year. How good does it feel to be back in the mix here in Wisconsin?
I took second as a freshman, and now to finally be back in the finals again. And missing last year, the tournament, feels good. I want to get this win under my belt and be a Cheesehead champ.
Something's got to give. Couple of nationally ranked guys, but you and Freddie Strunker. What's the plan of attack? What can we expect to see you when you're clicking on all cylinders?
This is the same thing every match. It's don't look at it as any different of a match. It's just I'm gonna wrestle it the same way I would as if I would in my own backyard. I'm gonna be shooting my attacks, riding tough on top, and be able to get out on bottom. So just leaving everything out on the mat. Nothing to lose.
Here with Bettendorf's Freddie Strunker. Freddie, impressive tournaments again this year after winning a title last year. What things do you think helped you out this season when you reflect on your experience here last year?
Last year I was a freshman, 15 years old, so I was a little bit younger, a little bit less mature. So getting that big match, center mat, everyone watching, kind of got the freshman jitters out of the way, and ready to wrestle in the finals here, no pressure, and sophomore year a little bit more mature and a little bit more ready.
One of many good battles we're going to see. This one with you and Jared Cortez. You're ranked 16th in the country. He's ranked number 2. Talk about what you love most about wrestling the best guys in the country.
I'm an underdog in this match, and I'm not really an underdog too much, so it's nice to have, no pressure, just go out there and wrestle, and this is a real big match, so get this win out here, definitely move up in the rankings and stuff, so very good opportunity that I have today.
Back here at Kaukauna High School, and one of the more anticipated showdowns coming up at 126. But before we do that, we'll take a look at the updated team standings. And as you see, Mike, Southeast Polk has maintained their firm position up top. They're going to get it done here in 2013. Talking with Jason Christensen, their head coach. They were proud to be here last year, an impressive performance, taking 4th, but higher expectations here in 2013, and they got solid performances from everybody, a lot of contributors.
Yeah, it says a lot to win this tournament with the caliber of competition here. Montini is a runner-up. They've obviously got a really, really strong team. As I mentioned before, they lost the clash last weekend on criteria, and so Southeast Polk is definitely for real.
Nothing better, Mike, than when two guys step to the line expecting to win, and we got that right here. A pair of undefeateds Here at 126, Jared Cortez from Glenbard North. He's 24-0. And Freddie Stroker from Bettendorf, the sophomore, comes in 23-0. And I've been looking forward to this one since this matchup was set up in the semis.
Yeah, we talked about this one in the intro. I mean, these guys are definitely full of fireworks. They're both on the attacks. Somebody's going to take their first loss of the season tonight, but we should have a great match here with these two studs.
Cortez, Intermat rankings, ranked number 2 in the country. Here at 126, top spot is Joey Dance from Virginia. Stroker ranked 16th. Stroker, a Cheesehead champion a year ago at 113, defeated Jordan Laster of Montini. Cortez was a runner-up here as a freshman at 112 then of Marmine Academy.
Yeah, he's bounced around a little bit. Actually, both of these wrestlers, I think, have bounced around a little bit. Stroker may have spent some time out in Pennsylvania, if I'm correct. Bounced around a little bit in high school, but they've settled into these schools, and they're wrestling undefeated for their high school teams, and they're ready to go tonight.
Cortez, as a freshman, a 2A state champion in Illinois at 112. A year ago, a 3A state champion at Glenbard North. Stroker last year as a freshman was a runner-up in Iowa 3A at 126. Had the chance to watch Stroker in his semifinal match against Robert Lee of Kaukauna, Wisconsin state champion. And what makes him so dangerous, his counter shots really stood out to me.
This should be one of the marquee matchups of the night. These two young men really getting after it.
Cortez, junior freestyle All-American at 119, won a freestyle title as a cadet.
With the schedule that these guys wrestle, both of them coming in undefeated, that's something to be said here.
Both these guys familiar to the bright lights. And this is why you wrestle, to get competition opportunities like this.
Yeah, you bet. I mean, if you want to win a state title, you come in here to compete, and you do your best to compete to win. And if you don't, you win or lose, learn and improve. See what you can do to win a state title in February. National tournament like this can definitely expose a couple weaknesses, whether you relax on the edge of the mat, or at the end of a period, or you're standing up a little bit straight in your stance, being able to move on the bottom. I mean, all those little things that it takes to win the big matches, they can get exposed here. So it's really, if you can keep a positive mind, just seeing maybe if you took a loss, seeing the value out of that, and then getting back into practice on Monday and seeing what you can do to get better. Good shot, 2 shots.
No score. 55 seconds left here in this first period. And one thing too, Mike, with these matches, championships began some time ago, and how have these guys been dealing with the emotions, been dealing with the anxiety, the pressure in preparation for this showdown?
Yeah, I got to think that, these guys have competed so much, though, at the national level, all through the summer. And I just think that, to them, this is another tournament. They're used to battling and getting these high-level matches when you get to the finals. So to these guys, it's probably really no big deal. I mean, it's a big tournament. They want to win, but I'm sure that they're not too stressed out because they've been so battle-tested.
Double stalling call. Never been a real big fan of that, especially between two kids ranked in the top 20 in the country and a pair of undefeateds.
And it's not as if they haven't been making some attempts, maybe not real committed attempts, but that was a tough call to see.
I just don't know why you make that call, because I think as an official, I think now you put yourself in a tough position.
Yeah, that's
I just
true.
don't think you have to make it.
I think it does. It could force your hand. You're going to have a coach getting on you if somebody's not being very offensive. Nice stand up. Up and out in no time. About 2 seconds, he was up and out of there.
Huge escape there for Cortez. Puts the first point on the board. There's a nice shot there from Stroker, but Got caught on his shoe tops, head buried.
Stalemate here. It was really impressive. Those guys that just fire up off the whistle like Cortez did there, that's usually your best strategy, is pop right up off the whistle. If you got a chain wrestle from there, you do that. But, man, was he explosive coming up and out of there. Seeing some good fakes. It was nice to see Stroker commit to a shot. He got in deep, then Cortez shut him down a little bit.
Watching both these guys just fluid, light on their feet. There's that counter shot that I'm talking about with Stroker trying to suck it up, but doing a nice job. There's Cortez, spins around behind. There's a roll from Stroker. Good scramble there at the edge.
Nice funk here. That's note 2. I know the coaches are calling for that, but Stroker did a great job continuing to wrestle, finding the ankle, hitting a little ankle pass funk. Oh, they gave 2 there.
And now a 3-0 lead for Cortez. Just exciting wrestling.
Yeah, that was some great stuff. It was nice to see Stroker trying to give himself a chance to shut that down. Nice to see him. He didn't give up on it. Seeing some of that college wrestling trickling down into the high school level now with some of that ankle pass funk.
And now here with 25 seconds, Cortez, you're looking to keep him down.
Finish strong.
Runs him out of bounds.
Nice job by Stroker there, though, continuing to wrestle up. You can see him wrestling with that sense of urgency here.
Had some issues with our clock. There's 40 seconds left. Nevertheless, Cortez continues to be strong in that top position. Weight forward. Look at the pressure.
Stroker's doing a good job coming up. He's got his head up. He's keeping his wrists clear.
Now Cortez will drop to a leg. Short time.
Here's a tilt opportunity from Stroker. You see Jordan Oliver use this a lot at Oklahoma State.
And after a scoreless first period.
Almost there. There it is. There it is. Right as time went out.
That would have been a game changer. That would have changed everything.
I think that woke Cortez up and lets him know he cannot just hang on down on that ankle.
Slick technique there from Stroker. 3-0 with Cortez getting the escape and the takedown. Ultimately gets the ride out, but at the buzzer, Stroker able to turn him.
See Jordan Oliver being able to execute that at the college level at Oklahoma State.
Typical match for Jordan Oliver. Get your 20 takedowns and then go to work on top.
In the first period.
Man, the weight changed up to 149. He looks fantastic. 3-1. Now Stroker a takedown away from tying this one up, and it seems like Stroker's kind of picked the pace up a little bit. I think his confidence.
Yeah, he did a great job coming up. He didn't waste any time getting ridden down on the bottom. Now he's pushing the pace. He's moving forward. Cortez with a little drag.
And keep in mind, both these guys earlier hit with double stalling.
Yeah, that's a tough call there. As you said, Stroker's got such great counter shots. It's almost better for him if Cortez will pull the trigger. Here he is kind of capitalizing off of one of Freddie's shots, though. He's got to make it stick.
And there's a takedown for Cortez. Done that a couple of times in this match. And now widens the gap. And leads at 5-1.
Very impressive wrestling there, continuing to chain movements together.
Caution on Cortez.
Stroker's going to have to start thinking about getting creative. Going to be tough to come back from a down 5-1 with a minute to go against a a wrestler of Cortez's caliber.
Good hard return there. Goes into that claw ride. And out of bounds, back to the center, 57 seconds. Watching wrestling these past couple of days, Mike, I don't know if I had dreams where I was half as good as some of these kids. I always often wondered myself, do these kids realize how good they are?
Yeah, certainly, at least for this age group. You know, for the high school level, I mean, things change a little bit in college for everybody. It's kind of an inexact science, but for the high school level, when you come to a tournament like this, you really appreciate the time and the effort that the kids are putting in, the coaches are putting into developing their athletes, and the parents also making a big time investment there. It's great to see wrestling at such a high level for these young kids.
Jared Cortez, 25 seconds away. Had this on the list of things he wanted to accomplish. And believe he was hit with stalling there for that second time, so a point to Stroker, and doesn't appear at this point that'll play any real significance, but still 24 seconds.
Yeah, that's a kind of a questionable stall call, I guess, in my opinion. I mean, I know he's riding him, but he's working hard. Stroker's doing a good job coming up. I mean, he's got to work to return him.
Cortez, a runner-up as a freshman. Quick jog back to the center.
I like that hustle.
I do too.
He's ready to go, man. Again, he's in great shape. You can see he's prepared. Probably going to see a little roll attempt here. He's got a scramble. Nice mat return. He's going to finish his period on top.
5-2. Couple of big takedowns, the difference. A long list of accolades, an impressive resume. And another accomplishment added to that list, Jared Cortez of Glenbard North. He remains undefeated at 26-0, and he's your Cheesehead champion at 126.
Would you trust your computer system to a 6-year-old? Then why would you trust your electrical work to anyone but a trusted electrical professional? When you need power to drive your business, you can find the electrical contractor you need by going to truepro.org online. Put in your location and call the trusted professionals you'll find at your fingertips.
Back here inside Kaukauna High School for the Cheesehead Invitational. Next up, our final at 132 pounds. It's Wisconsin and Illinois. Heartland Arrowhead's Andrew Crone and Marmion Academy's George Fisher. We talked with both about this anticipated battle. Here with Marmion Academy's George Fisher. He's in the finals at 132. Going to be a battle, but you've had a great tournament. Talk about why you've been so successful.
In the practice room with Coach Cumby and Coach Reynolds, all they've been telling me is just push the pace, keep scoring, trying to rack up more points no matter what. And I feel like that's my game plan in every single match. Just get in there, keep scoring, keep shooting, push the pressure, just always putting points on that scoreboard, and then I'll win.
This is a great event, one of the top tournaments in all the country. 28 guys going to be on the big stage. Your thoughts on this final?
In this final, I know he's a good kid. He's from Wisconsin. He's high ranked here. A lot of people have been talking about him. And I mean, I don't really wrestle the name. I wrestle the person. I go out there. I do what I want to do. I push the pace. I do as if I do in every single match, and just keep on scoring points. And that's all I care about.
Here with Heartland Arrowhead's Andrew Crone. Andrew, you've had a phenomenal season, a runner-up here at the Cheesehead last year. Now you're gunning for another title here. Talk about the importance of wrapping things up with a gold.
Yeah, it's really important this year. Last year I fell a little short of my goal here, so this is my senior year. It's my last chance to get that Cheesehead title, so I'm really going to go after it this year. It's one of my main goals this season.
Tough opponents in Marmion Academy's George Fisher. Talk about the mindset, the game plan going in. You're going to have to wrestle well.
Yeah, I just have to wrestle my style, keep to my attacks, keep wrestling hard the full 6 minutes, and just doing that, pushing the pace, I think I can take him out.
132-pound matchup. Andrew Crone of Heartland Arrowhead, 20-0 senior for the Warhawks, and George Fisher for Marmion Academy. The senior comes in 27-3, ranked 14th in the country. Another match. Looking forward to watching these two get after it.
Yeah, I really love the way Crone wrestles. Great to hear he's going to stay in state. He's going to be wrestling for Barry Davis in Wisconsin. Arrowhead has turned out some great college wrestlers. The Askren brothers, obviously. Nick Huckey's wrestling down in Missouri. Jake Soufflon's doing a great job over in Nebraska. And Crone's going to try to carry on that tradition. All these guys very well coached. Coach John Mesenbrink is undoubtedly one of the best high school coaches in the country.
Did a great job there. And before handing the reins over to Jeremy Miller. Miller in his second year there at the helm of the Warhawks. Fisher, he's going to wrestle like Crone in the Big Ten. He'll wrestle at Michigan for Coach McFarland. Donnie Pritzlaff and Sean Mohamed, assistant coaches.
Crone hit a nice duck, and then Fisher kind of scrambled out. They're still battling here. There's no 2 yet.
They did give 2 to Fisher.
Yep, they did give the 2. Okay.
Fisher was 7th at the Ironman, was a runner-up at the Dvorak. Captured a state title as a sophomore at 119. Last year, a runner-up at 126. Third here a year ago was Fisher at 126. USA Wrestling preseason national champion. Crone won a state title as a sophomore. Last year's season did not play out as he had hoped. Qualified for the state tournament but did not place. And Crone, another one of those guys, he's a wrestling room rat. You go to a wrestling room, you're going to find Andrew Crone, loves the sport, student to the sport. Fisher there, catches him on his back, center of the mats. Crone able to roll through, but not before Fisher scores a couple near fall points, now leading at 4-0.
Got caught scrambling there. He had the right idea, getting a lot of movement going. Crone is definitely a mat rat. One of the few Arrowhead guys that you'll see wrestling a lot of Greco during the spring and summer.
Junior Greco All-American. Fisher here short time. A period that has gone his way. A takedown and a turn, looking for the ride out. You can't draw it up much better than that. That is the recipe to winning big matches.
Yeah, you know, that was a credit to Fisher that he was able to kind of catch Crone there. I mean, Crone was really moving. He went for a little Granby roll and got caught in the half there. Gave up a couple quick two back points, but something tells me he's going to go to work on top here. He's a real grinder.
Mentioned Fisher, he was third here last year as a junior, as a sophomore, a runner-up at 119. Fell to Dom Malone of Wyoming Seminary.
There he is. Almost caught him there in a little scramble. Beautiful. There you see a little pancake. Some of that Greco training paying off.
When you think about Heartland Arrowhead, these guys can ride. Think about Jake Soufflon winning a couple of Cheesehead titles. He was as good as anybody on top.
Yeah, I know they spent a lot of time on that. They've always been known for being pinners.
Escape point makes it 5-0 for Fisher. Front headlock there from Crone with the head and arm. Tries to shuck him past.
Let's get that offense going. Had that beautiful duck in the first period and just wasn't able to capitalize on it. Now Fisher's in on a leg. Here's Crone looking for that same wizard tilt. He's got to get a little momentum going, kicking it over. Beautiful. Almost there, almost there.
Defended well by Fisher. Second period. See if Crone's able to get inside and spin around behind. Oh, and Fisher able to kick away. Missed opportunity there by Crone. Goes right back at it.
Nice job.
So close at the edge. 20 seconds
boy, that edge of the mat at the high school level really makes a big difference. College, you see things, that would have been a takedown there, but high school things get stopped on the edge, so kids got to really be conscious of that. Try to make their points count in the middle of the mat. Chasing those guys out of bounds and really getting that attack, it's so tough to make it pay off.
Fisher with a shot in the final seconds. And score remains 5-0 to the third. One thing I've always thought, Mike, you look at like the NFL and college football, it's harder to keep 2 feet in. And that's why in the NFL you keep 2 feet in, it's a catch. College football only got to have 1 foot in. It's opposite with wrestling.
Yeah, you know, I think that, I wish anyway, that the high school associations would take a look at adjusting those rules, because it would really open up the scoring a little bit, get some more points on the board.
And I think it might make it easier for officials.
Yeah, you bet, because there's so many of those kind of 50-50 calls with the high school rules the way that they are. But, you know, if you're just thinking about one body part is in at the college level, you're going to see the scoring get opened up, and it's easy for officials to see that. Back on that reinforced whizzer. Kicking.
Fisher around the ankles. Now he'll work up the hips. No takedown awarded yet. Score stands at 5-0. And good awareness there by Crone to get out of bounds.
Yeah, that was probably good awareness on Fisher's part, too. He kind of drove him out a little bit. Puts Crone back down underneath him.
That claw ride from Fisher.
Nice leg defense by Crone. He's going to turn this into a reversal.
Now 5-2. Crone's going to cut him to make it 6-2. He'll need something big, and right now, what do you got in that bag of Grenko tricks?
He's still going after leg attacks.
Doesn't have a whole lot of time, just 35 seconds left. If he's going to win this match, he needs a big-time throw.
Fisher looks like he's going in. He's burning some clock time
and
here.
Smart wrestling there by Fisher. You go in, you hang on to a single leg. At this time, the clock's your best friend. Good, smart wrestling.
And he's continuing to move here. He's not just holding the position. He's continuing to keep those knees moving, driving into him.
18 seconds.
Crone's got to go big here. He's trying to pound it on her hook.
Marmion Academy's George Fisher is going to win this one 6-2 over Andrew Crone of Heartland Arrowhead, as Crone tastes defeat for the first time this season. Meanwhile, Fisher picks up his 28th win of the season to improve to 28-3. The Marmion Academy Senior, your Cheesehead champion at 132 pounds.
Wrestlers, are you ready for the next step? USA Wrestling challenges you to test your skills in the Folk Style Tour of America. The 2013 Dominating the Dells will be held Saturday, March 16th in the Wisconsin Dell Center at Chula Vista Resort. Be sure to visit the water parks after the event. For more information about this event and other tournaments, visit usawrestlingevents.com.
138 pounds. There you see it. Chris Garcia, 28-7 junior for Montini. And Andrew Steyert of Waverly Shell Rock, a senior, comes in a perfect 24-0. Garcia, two-time Illinois State Place winner, was a runner-up a year ago as a sophomore at 132, following up a freshman year in which he finished third at 125. And for Steyert, fourth, and seventh. First two at 103 pounds, last year at 120. A lot of pressure there on that left knee. They'll call potentially dangerous. Rightfully so. A reset. No score, 30 seconds in.
Yeah, Garcia may have used that as a strategy. A lot of guys will call that rubber knee, where they can look for a potentially dangerous call out of that. And the guy's deep in on a single.
Garcia, no stranger to this championship match. He was a runner-up a year ago at 132. Fell to Dakota Traum of Apple Valley. I believe Traum now at Minnesota.
Yeah, and Garcia's another guy. You know, he comes in here, he's in the finals with 7 losses on the season, where Steyert's undefeated. It goes to show the competitiveness of the Montini schedule.
Well, I mentioned before how tough that schedule is. I mentioned the Beast of the East is the type of tournaments that they wrestle. They do not wrestle at the Beast, but they're at, as we mentioned before, the Iron Man, the Dvorak, the Clash, the Cheesehead. Izzy Martinez putting together one of the best schedules in the country, and it's all about February.
Here again, Garcia kind of working. That's where you can see that rubber knee defense kind of came back. Kerry Kolat was really good at that back in the 90s.
Kerry Kolat at North Carolina. Saw him at the Midlands last week. As tough as they come.
Steyert's been really good getting after Garcia's legs, and then Garcia's been able to kind of work a little bit of stalemate funk in here to shut things down.
Flexibility.
Typically, though, the guy that's in on the legs, that's going to pay off.
One thing that stands out these past couple of days is these guys just don't give things up. When it gets tough, they get a little bit tougher.
That's right. I mean, the idea is to be greedy on offense, be stingy on defense.
No score between Garcia and Steyert as we move to the second. And Steyert takes a look at Izzy Martinez, and he'll go on bottom.
Garcia up and out. There's that rubber knee again. Going for that ankle pass. Now the official's letting it go. You can see he's kind of getting back into that same position. The official maybe seems to figure out that that's a place that he wrestles from quite a bit.
Talked earlier, Mike, about some of the great names that have won championships here at the Cheesehead. I was at the Midlands last week. And another guy that I think is going to be doing some big things, the guy that won it here last year at 126, Corey Clark, who wrestling down at Iowa. And what a Midlands he had.
Yeah, great Midlands. He also had a great win over Jesse Delgado earlier this year. So that's a kid that's wrestling in this tournament a year ago. So here they are wrestling at the Midlands. That's very impressive. Let you know that the kids that are wrestling in the finals of this tournament, they're for real.
Steyert here in the second period. He's got the wrist. Goes to the claw. Weight forward. There's a roll there from Garcia. Here we go. A little bit of funk scrambling.
Steyert's got to continue to move here. He can't just hold. He's got an ankle.
Garcia stays with it. And they give him an escape. A lot of times in that position, you'll see the guy trap that arm and get a stalemate. But
yeah,
Garcia had both arms free and capitalized.
Well, he kind of stopped wrestling there. When Garcia split the middle, he kind of got on that ankle and stopped moving. You got to continue to wrestle the position. You start getting into trouble when you start thinking about holding position, looking for a stalemate. Stalemate should just happen. Steyert again firing off a shot, but it's straight in. Now he's stuck in the front head.
10 seconds. Another quick shot there from Steyert.
And that's been a real common theme here this match. Steyert going in on a single, and he's kind of stopping on his knees. Garcia's going to his rubber knee defense. Nice to see Steyert on the attack, though.
Steyert, he'll go on bottom to begin this third period. Works his way to his feet, and we are tied up at 1.
That didn't take long. Nice wide base stand up. All tied up here. Who's going to get to the angle? Seeing some good fakes from Garcia. You know he wants to fire a shot off. There's Steyert on that same leg. Garcia going right back to where he's comfortable. Oh, nice scramble action here. Keeping a far ankle. Nice job by Steyert. Buckling him to his hip.
And in those scrambles, the guy that gets the highest, able to elevate, wins the scrambles.
Keeping that far ankle is real key, too. You're able to buckle the guy down to his hip. He should be able to capitalize here.
It'll be a matter of time before this is 2 for Steyert, I believe.
Garcia's sitting on his butt. Garcia's looking to the official. There he is.
2 awarded.
Steyert capitalized. Nice job. As I said before, you're in on a single. It's only going to take so many times. You fire off that many shots before it pays off.
And Garcia kicks away and comes right back at him. Pulls to within 1, 3-2. Not exactly sure what happened to Steyert, but they tend to him.
That maybe fired Garcia up a little bit. Steyert out-scrambled him there. Got him fired up, got him a little frisky getting into the face.
Last year's outstanding wrestler, Sean K. McMurtry from Lockport, Illinois. Defeated Brandon Kingsley of Apple Valley in that 160-pound final. Believe McMurtry's at Nebraska.
He is a teammate of Jake Soufflon.
Get a replay. See Garcia kick away.
Yeah, tough one there. Took a shot to the jaw, forehead right to the jaw. Don't think it was really intentional. Just going back, doing some hard wrestling. Looks like he's going to shake it off. He's going to be just fine. These guys are modern day warriors, man. You're seeing it right there.
Love it on that program. Modern day warriors.
You take one on the chin and shake it right off. No big deal. Here he's bouncing. He's ready to go.
Nothing beats it. Mano-a-mano, man-to-man, nobody to blame.
Hey, you got to get tough. Big match like this, under a minute to go in the third period. You're done wrestling for the weekend. You took a little shot in the jaw. He's going to be ready to go. Trainer's talking with him. Looks like it's going to be just fine.
Going through the necessary precautions. Couple of laughs. A few big smiles. And I like Garcia out there. Garcia, center of the mat. He's out there quickly jumping around like a rabid dog. Wants to look at him. Just wants to get right back after it. Ready to go. He's got 52 seconds. And he's down by 1. I expect this to be exciting in the final 50.
Here he is, right on the attack. Steyert's doing a good job getting him extended. Ooh, he builds up.
Garcia gets his hips underneath him.
Nice job, but Steyert's
has him on his hips. And there's a takedown for Garcia. This one going back and forth. Garcia now up by 1, 4-3, inside of 35 seconds.
And he was ready to go. He showed it there.
Talk about it all the time. You want to win big matches. There's going to come a time when you got to ride a guy for 20, 30 seconds. Here's a situation right here. And Garcia's in good shape right there. Good pressure on the lower back.
Both legs in. That's a tough position. He's got Steyert flat on his belly. That's like the second worst position in wrestling right there when you're flat on your belly. You got a quick stall call there. Maybe force that stall call a little bit, but we'll see. Gave Steyert some new life.
10 seconds. Garcia, single leg.
Interesting that he went to the crotch there. The clock's running. Garcia dropped to his ankle.
Good match. Good efforts from both Garcia and Steyert. That late takedown for Garcia. Going to give him the 4-3 decision and the Cheesehead Championship at 138 pounds. We got 145 coming up. Stick with us. It's high school wrestling, the 15th annual Cheesehead Invitational here on Fox Sports.
What can you count on? There's the place on the corner where the coffee is just right. A loyal companion, always ready to go. Here's something else you can count on: electricity. Just flip a switch and your life powers up. At American Transmission Company, we help make sure electricity is there when you need it. That's what we do. Deliver economical, reliable power for your everyday life. American Transmission Company, helping to keep the lights on, businesses running, and communities strong.
One of the most explosive fun wrestlers to watch in this entire tournament. We're going to see him now. Bryce Brill, 31-0 junior from Mount Carmel, ranked number 2 in the country at 145. And Bubba Hernandez from Bettendorf comes in 20-2, a senior. Bryce Brill is non-stop attack, wants to score all kinds of points.
Yeah, you can see the movement taking place already. He's all over this guy, hitting him in the head, hitting him in the face. Trying to get some action going here right out of the gates.
Brill, a champion at the Dvorak at 145. He was a state champion at 135 as a freshman, a runner-up a year ago. He was 3rd here last year as a sophomore at 145. Junior freestyle national champion Bryce Brill. For Hernandez, a 3-time Iowa State place winner. Last year at this Cheesehead, he was 4th. At 145. So, Mike, last year this was the 3rd place match.
Wow.
Won by Brill.
Brill was getting after it.
Hernandez!
He's kind of going for it out of that front head, and Hernandez picked up a single. Brill continued to wrestle right there.
Never stopped.
That was a nice exchange by both wrestlers. Hernandez really did a nice job picking up that single, continuing to wrestle.
Hernandez, a folk style national runner-up, was 3rd at the preseason nationals put on by USA Wrestling. All states. Is Hernandez on the gridiron? This is one where I think we're going to just see great conditioning. I don't expect to see either one of these guys hanging out too long. Just going to go back and forth with jabs, and eventually somebody will try to get an opportunity for that big punch.
Well, Brill looked like he got a little score there. Might have been a right hook. Scored off of that, getting his first takedown. Now let's see what he can do on top.
I watched him in that quarterfinal match with a whizzer.
Yeah, whizzer kick. That's a great technique. You see that used in freestyle a lot. I know you mentioned he's a junior freestyle champion. That whizzer kick position, kids work on that a lot in freestyle to use it for the edge of the mat. Kicking guys, using almost like an elevator technique. And again, another good reason why kids should be wrestling freestyle, because it transfers into the folk style season.
He hit that, put the guy right to his back. I believe ultimately that ended in a tech fall. Brill doing a nice job here on top, keeping him tight. "20 seconds in this first period.
He likes this crab position here. He's been working this. Now to a 2-on-1 tilt. He's getting some swipes.
Gonna put 2 on inside of 15 seconds. And Brill, a 4-0 advantage to the second period.
Brill's really good at staying with the guy, keeping his hips tight, almost riding him like he's a backpack.
Now he's got choice. He'll go on bottom, looking to add to his lead. Brill ranked number 2 at 145 in the country. The number 1 ranked 145-pounder in the country. We're going to see in the 152-pound final. That's Jake Short of Simile.
Yeah, he went up and wanted to challenge Mark Hall, but then they had a little change. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
We talked about it earlier, Mike, the impact of this tournament in this community impacting the National Football League on this night.
Yeah, the Paper Valley Hotel, which usually hosts all the traveling teams, with the Cheesehead tournament in town, they didn't realize that the playoff game was coming through, and the Vikings were forced to find a new place to sleep. So all the wrestlers and their families took precedent over the Vikings, which is just A-OK in this part of the state.
Yeah, someday maybe Minnesota will get a pro football team. We'll see.
Minute 22, 5-0. I will say Adrian Peterson is a beast.
What weights he wrestle?
Expect Hernandez to pick things up, but Brill just stays on the attack, scores. They give him 2? Don't believe so. Score remains 5-0.
Again, that edge of the mat, that really looked like a takedown.
Hernandez dives in, but straight on, no angle, not much of a setup, and against a guy like Brill, there's going to be a big consequence. Brill looking for the fall. Got him tight, it's a stick. Bryce Brill.
Just again, chain wrestling, down block, going to the corner. Hernandez reached up, went right to that cement job and put him away.
One of the top wrestlers in all the country. No doubt about it. Bryce Brill of Mount Carmel, your Cheesehead champion at 145. The ATC match of the night coming up at 152. It's high school wrestling, the Cheesehead here on Fox Sports.
Top-notch kids are scared of that shirt. So if you get that shirt, it's one thing that you have that almost no one else has.
Getting the I Did It shirt means I went through the workouts. I did everything I needed to do.
If I get the shirt, it's going to be a great day. I'm going to put it in my wrestling room at my school.
When I go back to Texas, I'm wearing it to every tournament for everybody can know that they don't want to mess with me.
It is simply wrestling at its best. A couple of horses here in this 152-pound final. Brian Murphy from Glenbar North, he's ranked number 3 in the country at 152. And Jake Short from Simile, ranked number 1 at 145. Should be a great battle. Looking forward to this one. Earlier, we talked with both Short and Murphy. Here with Glenbard North's Brian Murphy at 152. What a semifinal. Every eye in this gym was watching that match. You're ranked 3rd in the country. You knock off top-ranked Mark Hall in triple overtime. Talk about that battle.
I knew he was a great kid coming into this, and his defense was very good. I couldn't finish that single on the edge of the mat because he did a nice job of staying away, and then we just got into a great battle. It was fun.
Mark Hall, you beat him. Next up is Jake Short, wrestling up to 152. He's ranked number 1 in the country at 145. Talk about raising your level to those heights in back-to-back matches.
You just got to have the mentality coming into this tournament that you're going to have tough matches because this is a great tournament, and I can't wait to wrestle Jake again. We wrestled over the summer. He beat me pretty good at Fargo. I can't wait to wrestle him again.
Here with 152-pound finalist Jake Short. Jake, you've had a phenomenal season. You'll wrestle at Minnesota. Talk about the way you've wrestled this season.
I've wrestled tough. I've wrestled at a couple different weight classes, 45, 52, 60. I'm undefeated as of right now. Just been wrestling strong. I have like 20-something pins already this season, and I think I'm wrestling at some of the highest ability that I've wrestled at ever.
It's the match everybody's talking about, you and Brian Murphy at 152. It's going to be a clash. 2 great wrestlers. You're no stranger to big matches. You've been here before. Talk about what you love about the bright lights.
I just love that opportunity to wrestle the best guys. Brian's a great wrestler. We're going to go out there and just going at it, and that's what I'm hoping for. And I'm just going to do my best and see what happens.
152 pounds is our American Transmission Company match of the night. And looking forward to this one, we'll take a quick look at the updated team standings. Congratulations to Southeast Polk, 4th a year ago, and here in 2013, your Cheesehead team champions. Montini Catholic will finish 2nd, followed by Marmion Academy. Mike, here we go. Grab the popcorn. It's showtime. 152 pounds. Both these guys ranked number 1 in the country. Or, correction, Short ranked number 1 in the country at 145. Brian Murphy ranked 3rd in the country at 152 to get to this final. Knocked off Mark Hall in the semis from Apple Valley, ranked number 1 in the country at 152. So it doesn't get much better than this.
Yeah, there was a lot of build-up during the week. If you looked around, you follow some of the national wrestling websites about the matchup between Short and Mark Hall. But as I said before, somebody forgot to tell Brian Murphy to watch for that one because he was busy knocking off Mark Hall in the semis. Here he is going up against Jake Short. We're still going to have an awesome match on our hands here tonight.
That one went to the ultimate tiebreaker, 3-2. Murphy from Glenbard North, a senior, 11-0. Short, a senior, 26-0. He'll wrestle for Jay Robinson at the University of Minnesota. Murphy, he'll wrestle in the Big Ten as well. Future
Great high
Michigan
crotch.
Wolverine.
High crotch, went transition, ended up in a single.
Whizzer there for Murphy.
Good job moving him here, but Murphy's stingy.
Oh,
nice.
Murphy keeps it a scoreless match. Murphy, great athletes. Also, football player. I know he's the quarterback on a team that made the state championship game. I mean, think about getting up for 2 matches. Mark Hall and Jake Short back to back. That's something you're not going to see happen very often.
Yeah, but again, you know, they wrestle a great schedule. They're prepared for that. And this is a kid, he's going to go to Michigan. I mean, he's going to see that matchup every weekend. So I think it's kids like this, they're ready for that.
Every day in the room.
You bet. Interesting, we got that third place match going on right now with Mark Hall and a freshman phenom, Bo Bresky.
Yeah, Short defeated Bresky 8-3. But Bresky, one of the impressive wrestlers here in Wisconsin.
Yeah, 152-pound freshman, he's the real deal.
That's as slick as it gets from Short. Can he capitalize, trying to chase down that far ankle? Similar position as we saw before. Time runs out. Couple of really good attacks there from Short. Credit Murphy with his defense.
Yeah, you got to love to see that. That's a lefty high crotch, and then he's hitting the corner real hard. He's kind of making it like an inside reach single. Lee Kemp used to use that quite a bit, but it's nice to see Short going lefty with it.
This our American Transmission Company match of the night. ATC helps to keep the lights on, businesses running, and community strong. And a big thanks to ATC and their continued support of the Cheesehead Invitational.
Again, Murphy's better off kick and the clock's running against him right now. Ooh, they went stall call on Short there. That's a tough call here.
Jake Short, this past July out in Fargo, he was 3rd in freestyle. Short, 4 times all-conference in tennis and 3 times all-conference in football, at least according to his sheet.
Wow. Well-rounded, impressive student athlete.
Took 5th as an 8th grader before winning 3 consecutive Minnesota State titles. Was 6-0 at the Clash, champion at the Christmas tournaments. They're in Rochester.
I'm interested to see Murphy get some offense going here. Short's had some really sweet attacks, hasn't been able to capitalize. I want to see some of Murphy's offense here to see where this match goes.
Halfway through this second period, Shane Sparks, Mike DeRone, thanks for joining us here at Kaukauna High School as we're back to the center with 53 seconds. Short won this tournament a year ago at 145 by knocking off Bo Nickel of Allen in the finals. When it comes to position, Mike, Jake Short is the poster boy.
Yep. He's keeping a good stance. You see those knees bent. Knees stay underneath the shoulders, elbows stay back, his head's in the way, so he's got a chance to maximize his offense and his defense. Again, he's firing that lefty shot.
Pushing forward. Short time in the second period. And now Short will go on bottom. Third period. And this is where Murphy's very strong. There you see Will Short father of Jake, head coach there at Simile. Thought Murphy might have tried to ride him a little bit longer. He was able to ride Hall for that final 30 seconds. Thought he might try to keep him down a little bit there, but Short with the escape. We're on our feet.
Yeah, he didn't waste any time popping up and out of there.
See if Murphy's able to fire off any attacks. So far, the aggressive wrestler neutral has been Short.
Yeah, Short's been most aggressive, but he's the one carrying the stall call right now. He dropped down to that ankle. See what Murphy's strategy is. You know, I know he had that big win in the semis. Maybe he's comfortable there going to that overtime, that double overtime. He's going to be willing to ride.
He scored first point, as he did. Actually, believe Mark Hall scored that first point. He chose bottom in that ultimate tiebreaker in those semis. There's Short again.
There's a shot going out of bounds. Probably more to keep the official off of his back.
Inside of the minute remaining here in regulation, 1-1. Murphy an escape in the second, Short with one here in the third.
Both of these guys just really strong, solid position.
Short near the edge, not a whole lot of real estate. Reaches over the head, looking for a cradle. Now we'll switch back down to that low single leg.
Love this just refusal by both wrestlers.
Oh, look
Great
at
exchange.
Murphy.
I don't know if you can give that.
No takedown. 13 seconds. Murphy trying to see a lot of guys in that position trying to come around and hook the ankle and then bring your hips up. You look at Murphy, Mike, so win this title would have to knock off 2 number ones. I bet that's been done a handful of times ever. To knock off 2 number ones at the same tournaments?
Yeah, that'd be pretty impressive. It'd set him up for an OW award, I would think.
No brainer.
Either him or Fisher, that weight class at
132. That was the deepest weight class ever. You had a 17th seed as a state qualifier. 17th seed, state qualifier.
There were 6 state champions in that weight class alone.
Here we are in the 1-minute sudden victory. This match has lived up to the hype. They're Short again. And out of bounds.
Nice scramble. Short, man, he's in on that lefty high crotch. One of these times he's probably going to make that pay off. Murphy is very stingy. There's some good chain wrestling. Again, transitions into single. Murphy's got that reinforced whizzer. This might be it here.
Short trying to finish at the edge and again out of bounds.
Great scramble on the edge of the mat. Murphy is tough to score on.
15 seconds. Short, first one back to the center. Short, as the case with Murphy, just great conditioning.
Yeah, both guys, you know, they're the total package.
And we will go to the first of the 2 30-second tiebreakers. And this is where things can get interesting.
Yeah, you're going to see some tough scrambles here. Remember, Short's got a stall call against him. Can't be dropping down to that ankle. He's going to have to ride tough, get that weight forward on his hands. Ooh, he sets him to his hip.
Murphy works his way up.
Murphy scooting to the corner. Nothing yet. He's still sitting on his butt.
10 seconds left.
He's looking for that step over. Short's holding.
5 seconds. And Short able to ride Murphy for 30 seconds. This is not sudden victory, of course. Now Short will go on bottom.
Short was up and out before, so this is going to show, can Murphy ride here? He did it in the semis. Short, nice power stand-up, going right to a roll, creating a lot of action. Ooh, that edge of the mat.
Situation here for Murphy. It's about 3 or 4 6-second rides, whether it's forcing a stalemate, running him out of bounds. He hasn't been hit with stalling yet.
Yep, ideally he puts him on his belly, but just trying to ride for a handful of ticks. Got to return him. He's got a stall call to burn.
Good wrestling there by Murphy. Just good awareness right there. Run him out of bounds.
Him out of bounds. Love that hustle by Short, though. Hustling back to the center.
Drop to a leg. I mean, he's got some options here.
Yeah, that stall call to burn, that could come and play a factor here.
That's huge.
Short's ready to go, man. He's down. He's ready to pop right up.
He's so fun to watch. Both these guys been able to watch in these past couple of days. So fun to watch. This is high school wrestling at its best. Two competitors, great will, great desire, toughness, all the things we talk about that make up champions.
Yeah, you're seeing probably a future Big Ten battle right here. These two guys are going to be getting after each other for years to come.
And now we are going to go to the ultimate tie break. Murphy with the choice. Where does he go? I believe it's Murphy's choice. He scored that first point with that second period escape. He's going to go on bottom.
Wow. He's going to be ready to go, but boy.
Trying to knock off 2 number ones, both in the ultimate tiebreaker. There's a caution on Short. Believe that's just his first. He's okay. Takes 3 to give up a point. Attempted roll there for Murphy. Short stays right with him. Couple of near fall points for Jake Short.
Oh, he gave up those near fall. That's...
What a battle!
Surprised that he went for that roll.
The 2 near falls to make it 3-1 with just a second, or is this one over? It is over. Jake Short from Simile, the 3-time state champion from Minnesota, the future Golden Gopher. Another Cheesehead title to his resume in the ATC match tonight. It's Short over Murphy at 152 pounds. We'll be back to wrap things up right here on Fox Sports.
Top-notch kids are scared of that shirt. So if you get that shirt, it's one thing that you have that almost no one else has.
Getting the I Did It shirt means I went through the workouts. I did everything I needed to do.
If I get the shirt, it's going to be a great day. I'm going to put it in my wrestling room at my school.
When I go back to Texas, I'm wearing it to every tournament for everybody can know that they don't want to mess with me.
The Cheesehead outstanding wrestler Jake Short, assembly now a 2-time Cheesehead champion. Battle with Brian Murphy at 152. Talk about going into that match.
Just preparing myself, staying calm, just getting ready because I knew it was going to be a tough battle, and I was positive, thinking positive the whole time, just ready to go.
You were really aggressive from the neutral position. You were in there 3, 4, 5 times, but you stayed with it. Talk about those attacks.
I just kept going. Murphy's just turned out to be a real tough kid when it came to that single, and I got in there super deep, and it's all about just keep going and going and going, and that's what I kept doing, and ended up paying off for me, and I thought the more aggressive wrestler won the match in my eyes.
Goes to the ultimate tiebreaker. He chooses bottom. Tell us your thoughts.
I was surprised, actually. I thought he was going to pick top, although it seemed like he was pretty tired, and I felt explosive. I was going to get up right away, and then he chose bottom, and I was like, all right. And then he tried doing a Granby or something. I just caught him on his back and just held him there. So
worked out.
You won your second Cheesehead title, but this year the Outstanding Wrestler Award. Talk about that means.
That was my third. This year I got one at the Clash, one at the Christmas tournament, and just turned out the trifecta and got the third one at the Christmas tournament, or at the Cheesehead. So that's pretty cool, and that's about it. I mean,
he's your Cheesehead OW, headed to the University of Minnesota from Simile, Jake Short. We expected 14 fierce battles. That's what we got. Time to take a look at the ATC recap. We begin at 132 pounds. We talked about the depth of this weight class. George Fisher and Andrew Crone. Fisher able to get a turn right here, which ultimately was the difference.
Yeah, he caught Crone on his own roll, slapped in a half, picked up 2 crucial back points and put him up 4-0, and that really blew that match wide open.
The future Michigan Wolverine, Marmion Academy's George Fisher. The last man standing at 132, 145. Bryce Brill, just explosive, non-stop pressure. Gets a big pin here. Look at this position.
Yeah, this is just transition wrestling. Going from his leg attack, going up, doing some head hunting, and when he puts the guy on his back, he puts him away.
And 152 pounds. Brian Murphy, after that big win in the semifinals, runs into Jake Short, the 3-time state champion from Minnesota. Goes to the ultimate tiebreak. Short catches him for a couple near fall points.
Boy, that was a tough call. I'm not sure I saw the 2 near fall there, but that's the way the referee called it. So Short really pulled off a great battle from 2 modern-day warriors.
Things clearing out here in Kaukauna. Fans these past couple of days got to see some phenomenal wrestling. Southeast Polk, there you have it. They come up from Iowa. They were 4th a year ago, and they capture the team title here in 2013. You got Montini and Marmion 2 and 3, Bettendorf out of Iowa 4th, and Apple Valley, who had won the 3 previous Cheesehead Invitationals, a 5th place finish. And again, you look at those top 10, look at the programs, and again, a huge credit to Kaukauna and a premier event they have worked so hard to build.
Yeah, it's been an incredible tournament to watch. Great for Wisconsin wrestling, Northeast Wisconsin. Coach Scott Cleaver putting this all together with the help of the Kaukauna wrestling program and the entire Kaukauna wrestling community. Very, very impressive event. Can't wait to see it again next year.
So much fun. Congratulations to our Cheesehead champions. Can't wait to do it again next year. For our entire Fox Sports production crew and Mike Derone, I'm Shane Sparks saying good night from Kaukauna.